Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with interpreting these dreams in the from the Discord chat, and then if any of you want to, first kind of after we read the dream, kind of throw out, hey, I remember this symbol, like maybe Laterica and Vi. At first, if you want to say, hey, I remember this symbol, then we can put that in there, and then we'll give Marquez a chance to uh, apply what he's seeing in the dream and things, and then I will come in at the end and apply, follow up with anything additional that wasn't touched on. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this up here. Oh, okay, we can see this. Everybody can see this, I hope.
Yes, yes, I can see
Yes.
this.
All right. All right, we got a ton of dreams here. Here's the last one where I responded, and it was from this one. Okay, so Kez said I had a choice. Okay. Here we go. So Kez's dream. I had a choice. I was inside of an alleyway as this guy was explaining to me about the five elements to healing, and escaping the matrix. A screen of sort popped up. A screen of sort popped up and had all the chakra colors, names for things, and I was looking a snake, a serpent to get their ability. And when I touched the option, katanas appeared. However, I didn't want them because I don't like hurting people, but there was a dog in the alley attacking someone who just wanted you to use the bathroom. So I sliced, it didn't work, and did it again. Still didn't work. I said sorry and put it down. And I was talking to God about the abilities as I choose. Then I don't know how to interpret this part of my dream. Any insight at Tarak Uday? So here comes the insight. So any of you want to throw out there any symbols that you see or anything you see in this dream? Okay, if not, I will go ahead and start to interpreting. So first thing we have an alleyway, which is just like a roadway, a path in life. And then healing is all about, of course, being more whole. Uh, any kind of screen is going to be about like visualization. And then talking about the chakras and things here, that's probably correlating directly with the chakras or just energy in general, if not. And then I was looking a snake serpent to get their ability. And so that's why I also see that these chakras are probably directly correlating to the chakras, because the snake is going to represent your creative energy, your kundalini energy, which correlates with all of the chakras as well. And when I touched the option, katanas appeared. So this is all on the screen, right? So he's visualizing how his energy is moving and how he's using his energy and using it to heal himself and become more whole. And then he touched on an option for katanas, which is a mental tool for change. But a katana or a sword or something is primarily karma, the understandings that we have to gain from the life lessons that we have to learn. So um, that's the main mental tool that a sword will represent. So katana appeared. However, I didn't want them because I don't like hurting people. But there was a dog in the alley, which would represent a habit, some sort of habitual way of thinking, attacking someone who just wanted to use the bathroom. So there's a way in which he's trying to let go of things, but his aggressive nature is kind of keeping him from doing that. But I mean, maybe it means something different for him. I don't know, but that's how I would see it. Like maybe something happened the day before, and he's like, okay, you know what? I just need to let this go. And it's like, no, you know what? I'm not letting this go. Because he has a habitual way of thinking in that way, and so it's kind of coming to the forefront. Like, nah, I can't let this go. But all of this is he's becoming aware of this because he's identifying that this is something I'm wanting to change and transform. And so the sword, the katana. So he's addressing it like he was trying to slice it, but it didn't work. So so what I would suggest is with Kez, with this dream, try to identify like the day before when you were like whenever this was right after Christmas and before New Year's. So what's that? What was that last Wednesday or Thursday? Let me see. Yeah, a week ago today, last Wednesday. Should have been. I should have been on here interpreting it live. So whatever was going on Tuesday that you were trying to let go of, you know, really look at what got in the way, what came up within you that kind of kept you from letting things go and releasing that, and then not just trying to change that part of yourself, like, oh man, I need to not do that anymore, but try to understand that part of yourself, because that's the karma. Try to understand that part of yourself. Try to understand how you became that way. Try to understand, what is the opposite of that. So if that's something you're wanting to change, what are you wanting to transform it into? And then whatever that is, whether it's forgiveness, grace, serenity, or whatever it is, then look at that and try to identify what it's going to take to become that, and try to understand that quality deeper, because that's the katana, the sword, the karma, the understandings that you're here to build and learn in this life. So look at what was going on, and look at, what can I learn from this? What do I have the opportunity to learn from this? What do I have the opportunity to build within myself because of this experience or these experiences? And then move forward from there. And then talking to God will represent, um, not necessarily your um, unawareness of your own inner divinity, but you are just becoming aware of your own inner divinity. And there's a lot more to do. In the image of fallopian tubes, fallopian tubes are, part of the woman's reproductive system. So it's all about creation and creating something new, which makes sense because you're in the previous part of the dream, you're trying to destroy something. You're trying to transform a part of yourself that is unproductive, that is unwanted, that is unnecessary. It's not beneficial for you. And so if you're trying to change that, well, it has to transform into something, because no energy is wasted, no energy is destroyed. It's only dissipated and transformed. So what is it going to transform into? So what are you going to create out of this? Because you're starting to become aware of your inner divinity and your own godhood, and your awareness that you can create your own reality. And so in that, be mindful of what it is you are creating for yourself, not necessarily just what is it you need to change and destroy and cut out of the way you move about life and think about life, and the emotions and things, and how you move about those. Not only look at what parts of those are unproductive and you need to transform, but look at, what is it going to take that you're wanting to transform into? What is it you're trying to build up? Also look at that.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
even now, this dream still applies to me.
Oh
Even
wait, I
now,
started to read part of I'm tripping. I I looked at Vi's message, and I combined Vi's message and your message somehow when I was talking about the fallopian tubes. I just
oh,
said it. My bad.
I was confused at that. I was wondering, where did that come from?
Okay, but still, that still applies, because you're starting to see your own godhood, your own ability to create your own reality. Starting to become more aware of the reality of that.
Yep, I can see that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So then, yeah, with Vi's dream, all she can remember this past week is the image of fallopian tubes. So focus upon what it is, your creative power, and what it is you are using that power to create for yourself, what you are wanting to transform into. So focus upon that. All right. So then let's get to Dee Dee's dream number one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dreams total. 8 from Dee Dee. Let's go. Let's jump in here. All right. Here we go. I was somewhere in a castle, and I was oddly selected for a participation to a contest or something. There were some queens there, and usually they choose someone with high rank, but I don't know why this time it happened to me. It was either a mistake or they didn't have a choice. And this queen wasn't too happy with my actions, as I was too stiff, wasn't concentrating, laughing all the time. But later she could have changed me. She didn't. I think she ended up liking me, but she didn't want to admit and she kept being poker face and pretending to be mean. I was like a poor girl pretending to be a princess. So I was trying on a beautiful dress. It was magnificent. Then all of a sudden, I think that queen was my grandmother, died in 2020. She used to be strict and very posh. Now all of a sudden, I was presenting dresses for her. There was more, but can't remember. My mom was there. Nice. My other grandmother and lots of people. Beautiful. Now again, the scenario changes, and apparently I was a bride. I remember seeing my grandmother. She is still alive. She was crying, wasn't very happy, but I don't know why. I didn't see any groom though. It was just me dressed very beautifully and nicely arranged. I was in an area I used to live where I grew up. Unfortunately, this is all I can remember. I had more, but forgot it. All right. Anything you all see in this dream?
I see some clothes, which
Mhm.
represent self-expression,
Mhm.
and I see grandparents and parents,
Mhm.
which represent your superconscious mind. But I
Absolutely.
think queen, I think since that's an authority figure, that will also represent that.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then I see a castle. I don't know what a castle will represent.
Well, we'll break it down a little more. What is a castle?
A castle, I'd say that's just a very upgraded house,
Yeah, and
highly
so what's
upgraded.
the house?
A daily, the daily conscious state of mind, daily state of mind.
Yeah, yeah, your regular everyday state of mind. So in what way is it upgraded? Because I went to a house the other day, the guy had, this amazing you know, man's cave and this huge gym in his home and things and all this. So the house was very upgraded, but I wouldn't call it a castle. What do you mean by a castle is an upgraded house? What's significant about making it a castle? Like what really makes it a castle?
The fact that very important people live there. That's what I'd say.
Okay.
Very important people live there
So why did the important people choose the castle to live in?
because
Because
it's
it's
essentially better than other
yeah,
options.
yeah, it's big. Yeah, it's the main thing that makes it a castle because we have mansions, those are big also. But the thing that
Yeah.
makes a castle unique is the fortification. A
Mm.
castle is fortified. You know what I mean? So a castle is oh wow, that one little square made me so much brighter. That's funny. But yeah, a castle is fortified. So when you sorry, I'm trying to see if I can get this that chat back up. Can you guys see the chat on the screen when I put this on here? Try
Yes, I can. I can still see the chat. Nothing happened to it.
okay.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. I just didn't want it to be in the way and make sure you can still read everything. Okay. All right. So yeah, a castle's fortified. So that's what makes it so
Mm-hmm.
unique. So that's kind of giving you an insight to what state of mind, you know, um, a castle, because of it's so fortified, you can kind of stay like a lot of times kings don't really ever leave the castle. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, the kings never left the castle because that's, it's safe in here. I go out there, I might die, and there's a lot of people want to kill the king. You know, not just enemies from other cities, neither. Some people here don't like me because I beheaded their cousin or their uncle or something. So, sometimes kings don't even leave. So it's a place of like security and seclusion. So it's kind of representing like she's been fortifying her mind, strengthening the structures and the constructs of her mind. That's huge, huge. Like it's very evident that she has been putting in the work towards increasing her self growth, self awareness. Because a castle is fortifying the mind, strengthening the constructs. And I was oddly selected for participation in this contest with the queen, the super conscious, the authority. And so it's like, oh wow, I don't feel like I am worthy of these things that are happening within me, this progression and this growth that's happening, but I am, and a lot of this, yeah, there was trying on clothes and things, and she felt like, more to kind of um portray um how she kind of isn't feeling like she's maybe worthy of this, is kind of feeling like the super conscious mind maybe doesn't like her, even though that doesn't turn out to be the case. um but it then evolves into not just trying out dresses and things, trying out new ways of expressing. It goes into being a bride, and a bride is the main event and the main focus point of a wedding. And a wedding is all about making a commitment with another person. The vows are just making a commitment, a declaration in front of everyone that I'm committing to this other person. Well, if every person, place, or thing in a dream represents an aspect of your own consciousness, then it's all about self-commitment, committing to your own self, committing to your growth, being committed to your progression, being committed to your own self-awareness, being committed to your own spiritual development. And so this dream is very evident of that, and the emotion tied to that, and how beautiful it feels, because she's looking how everything is beautiful and nicely arranged, but that's just evidence and reflecting how, as she moves throughout her day, being more committed to herself, continuing to fortify the constructs of her mind, and continuing to harmonize more with her own inner divinity, the superconscious mind, because the mother's there, the grandmother's there, the queen is there. This is all feminine, and so the feminine quality of the superconscious mind is to hold the blueprint for your life experiences. So she's clearly fulfilling her blueprint, her life's purpose right now with what she's doing, the work that she's putting into her own self-awareness and soul growth. So it's beautiful, beautiful dream, beautiful dream. And that last part said, I was in an area I used to live where I grew up. Okay, cool. Nice. Any thoughts or questions on that dream? All right, all right. Well, let's keep it rolling. The second dream I remember, the second dream I remember better. I was dressed really nice and I was walking. Oh, hold on, let me move this stuff out the way. See, look. The second dream I remember better. I was dressed really nice, more focused on the clothes and expression. And I was walking on a street where I grew up, more progression, moving down the path in life, making progress down the path in life. Sorry, I forgot I need to give you all a chance to put things in here. I reached a block where a guy at the fourth floor lived, and he was listening to music and he was chatting with some girl outside. I heard it, and I went to his door, came inside, and confronted him about what he said. Told him I know that is what he believes about me, and he has no reason to say that because he doesn't know me. I wasn't arguing or anything. I was calm, but I wasn't satisfied by the way he thought about me, as he didn't even know me. And I remember I had a problem with my bra, which I borrowed from my mom, and kept trying to fix it. First, I wanted to undress in front of him, but then I changed my mind and went to the bathroom. Couldn't fix the bra, so I had to find a solution for it, which I did eventually, but wasn't very happy about it. Then I said, I'm leaving to buy some shoes. And my father called this guy. They were talking about going out and having drinks. Then my father arrived there and we left. I wanted to visit a shop to buy something, clothes or shoes, and I was again on that street. Beautiful. This is awesome. This is awesome dream. Okay, what do you guys see anything in this dream?
Let me see. So first, you go into your path in life, expressing yourself, ways new clothes, trying to fix the way you're expressing yourself. And then you meet this guy on the fourth level. Fourth represents stability. Music will represent inner harmony. So stability and inner harmony combined, you're just becoming more stable with yourself. And a result of that, you harmonizing with yourself more.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because there's like a little disharmony with that guy who was playing the music.
Yep.
Yeah. Wasn't extreme, but yeah, go ahead, continue.
I'd say this stream is basically about her progression since she is walking through the streets with a purpose, talking to this guy, finding new ways and fixing the ways that she's expressing herself and becoming more stability and harmonizing with those ways. So that's what I say in this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because she said she found a solution eventually. I mean, she wasn't very happy about it, but it was a solution, and then back to progressing. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And so another thing that's also a sign of progression in this dream, which and this goes into understanding more of the value of writing down your dreams and being a metaphysician and writing down your dreams regularly. And that's where, I've, even before Diane became a or Dee became a mentee, I was working with her a little bit before that. So um being familiar with her dreams for a while now, this is a progression. She used to a lot of times have a lot of arguments with different males in her dreams, or fights even. And so I think that's also why she was very um like purposeful to point out, like, I was I wasn't arguing or anything. I was calm, but I wasn't satisfied and was addressing this. And so it's showing a maturity and progression in the way that she's commute her internal dialogue with herself, and how she's more gentle with herself when she realizes she's not doing something properly, or kind of going a little extreme, or getting a little negative about things. And she goes to address that within herself with her own internal dialogue. And she's kind of more, still very stern, but more gentle with herself than maybe in the past. So that's another huge thing with this dream. And then remember, a bra is all about, the breast, which is nurturing, so being more nurture, how she's expressing with being nurturing to herself. So that's more evidence of exactly what I just explained, which is evident, which is also reflected by that being what comes up right after this discussion with this guy. Then she has to, adjust how she is expressing, being nurturing towards herself. And so then she goes into the bathroom, which is all about release and letting things go. Okay, I need to kind of let some stuff go, and that's helping me to be more nurturing for myself. I'm not all the way there yet. I know I'm not all the way there yet. I'm not very happy about it, but I do have a solution here. This is progress. And so then she moves into going to buy some shoes, which is all about your spiritual foundation, your spirit, which are your spiritual beliefs and practices. And she's there with her father, which is awesome, because the whole previous dream, you had three superconscious symbols, but all three of them were feminine, whereas now the father, the masculine superconscious aspect or quality of the superconscious mind, is there to help with the shoes. And the aggressive nature of the superconscious mind is to feed life force energy into the rest of the self in order to have the energy necessary to fulfill that blueprint. So it's an amazing, amazing dream. Awesome. I mean, I say that almost every dream. Amazing dream. Oh wow, this is a great dream. But I mean, yeah, a lot of times they are. Even the ones that, say, hey, you're fucking shit up. You need to do better. I mean, even those I feel are great dreams. Knowing the meaning to your dreams, that's what's great. So that's, I guess, really what I'm saying. Awesome. Any other thoughts or questions or anything on that dream from anyone, or ideas?
Nope.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's keep it rolling. Oh, also, again, I was dreaming about 11:11. I don't remember the context, but I definitely saw 11:11. I also saw 11:11 all the time in waking life. I also see 11:11 all the time in waking life. I'm seeing 11 or 111 or 11:11 everywhere. This has been happening for quite some time. Even now, I saw 11:11 and then suddenly remembered that I saw 11:11 in my dream. So saw it, and then that's what reminded her. That's awesome. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's 6:11 when she sent that message. So she's like halfway across the world. So it probably was 11:11. So, anyways, one, which, and this is no surprise, because when we look at how we interpreted the last few dreams, a lot of the focus is the effort and the results of the effort and work that she's been putting into her own, soul growth and spiritual development. And so all of these ones represent individuality, but it's like, 11 reduces down to a 2. So it's like 0 represents power. That's because, when you're on this level, life moves in circles and cycles. So as you're moving in a circle, if you're progressing, you come back around to the same point, but you're much higher than before. You circle around, come back around to the same point, but you're higher than you were before. Circle around, come back to the same point, but you're higher than you were before. So each of these ones is indicating a higher level of understanding your own individuality. 2 represents duality. The inner and the outer, the left and the right, the masculine, the feminine, the aggressive and receptive, the black, the white, the light, the dark, the dual nature of everything. you know there is, the good, bad, love, hate. There's no separation between those. Good and bad, there's no separation between those. There's two dual sides of one thing. Love and hate, there is no separation between those. It's just two sides to a coin. That's why two people who love each other can quickly move into hating each other, and two people who hate each other can quickly move into loving each other. So everything is dual. So with that dual nature of the 11, it's about not only just the individual, but the individual amongst all of the people, the inner and the outer. And so the three, the 111, the three, then that's about being an individual and understanding your creative power, because three represents creation. The 1111, that is, stability, and creating more stability within yourself. And so so that's what you want to look at with those. It's all about, like, whenever those come up, then really understand, okay, what more, like 1111 probably showed up sometime during the day before the dream with the fourth floor guy. You know what I mean? And so to kind of correlate with that, the three probably came up sometime before the other dream. And so that's just the universe communicating with you to give you insight into what needs your attention right now. Any thoughts or questions on that?
No.
Okay, awesome. So next says, okay, I keep looking at things around me and I keep remembering things. I just remembered that I was eating pears and drinking milk in my dream. Beautiful. It's every once in a while, people come to me about dreams with food in it. And it's fairly common. But what isn't quite as common, maybe 20% of the time, when people tell me that there was food in their dream, were they actually eating the food? So food, who knows what food represents? Who remembers? Or if you don't remember, knowledge, exactly. The understandings that you have to learn from the life lessons that you can learn in life. And so, being aware of the knowledge that's available to you within your life experiences is one thing. So seeing food in your dream is one thing, but actually taking the time to ingest and digest what you have experienced to really understand and feed those understandings into your soul, that's eating the food, that's drinking the milk. And so and this is life producing food. Yeah, milk comes from cows and really it's for cows, but it's full of nutrients. That's why those cows are so huge. That's why like, there was this one guy that I went to high school at this one place a couple years, and it was this country place. Like when I moved there, I moved from a school where there were 2,000 kids in my whole freshman class. Then sophomore year, I moved to this other school. I made the 311th student. At that other school, I don't think there was a single person who knew the student count, not even the faculty. But as soon as I walked in, hey, you make 311. And there was a couple kids there that they would drink their milk, anybody else's milk during lunch. Like they always were just drinking milk, and they were huge, just these huge farm guys. And they were throwing bales of hay after school all day, and they were just really big, like the size like a big cow. I mean, because they were drinking cow's milk all the time. But anyways, I'm digressing majorly. But milk has a lot of nutrients for growth. Pears have a lot of sustenance and nutrients that the body needs to thrive. And so she wasn't eating wedding cake. She wasn't eating candy or drinking soda, or wine even, or liquor. I don't see any of that. And I think just a few months ago, she put a dream in here where, well, actually for a while there was like alcohol in the dreams being consumed, and then it progressed to alcohol just being in the dream but not being consumed. And now we have a major function where traditionally tons of alcohol is consumed. One of the first things that most people ask when they're invited to a wedding is, is it an open bar? Because that's the main thing. And there's none of that in this one. So huge progress with this. It's awesome. Awesome. Any thoughts or questions about that? Got to be at least one.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Guess I've done a good job at explaining.
Yeah,
No,
very good job. I
no,
mean,
I'm
you do
just
it all
kidding.
the time. I ain't kidding.
Yeah,
So
I appreciate it. There
what
we
if you
go.
dream about fruit, but it's not like a real fruit, it's like a fake fruit?
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be kind of like the whole progression thing, progressing into things. So you're starting to, you really want to look at the context. I would say that's mostly it's like you're starting to become more aware of the that there is knowledge available in your life, but kind of you don't really have the ability or capacity to really identify it or really consume it, at this point. But you have, depending on the context of the dream, it might be showing you what you need to do in order to get to a point where you can kind of really identify what you're learning in life and extract the understandings and nutrients from life. Like all of us can kind of look at what's going on in our life right now, what kind of life lesson do we have to learn right now, but it's sometimes hard to correlate that to like a soul understanding. Like for example, if you're someone who shows up late everywhere, and punctuality isn't really a thing, that's very prevalent in your life. Well, so it's like, okay, I can learn to be more punctual. That's a life lesson. I can learn to be kind of more on time. But then there's a difference of like identifying what you can understand, understanding time, understanding respect, respecting your own time, respecting other people's time, understanding communication, because maybe you're always late but never really letting people know. So it's like with being more punctual, I can understand more the power of communication or something, whatever it is. I'm just trying to correlate like a life lesson and the difference between that and understanding, a soul understanding.
Okay, because I had a dream that I picked up a piece of fake fruit, but it was like a
Mhm.
more or so of a decoration, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, "This is cute or nice or something like that," and then I just walk away with it.
Okay. Yeah. So that probably is more like whatever was going on in your life the day before. You're aware that there's things that you can learn there, but you're not really like too keen on it because how real is that? You know, um, is that really something I need to be focusing on? Is that really something that is important? Is that really something that I need to do? How real is it?
Okay.
Yeah, so how long ago was that dream? Do you remember?
It was on actually on the first, like that, the
Oh,
night
okay.
of switching over to New Year's.
Yeah, yeah. So what was, I mean, I'm not saying like I'm not asking this question for you to answer here. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm just asking for you to then reflect on and answer for yourself. What was going on the day before that you maybe took pause and was like, I need to learn something here. I need to improve in this way, or I could improve in this way. I need to cultivate this kind of quality or something. What was that happened either the day before or maybe the day before that, the day before New Year's Eve, that kind of that was like there's a lesson here for me, that kind of had you
Hmm.
thinking like that. So when you identify that, then just go deeper with it. Take the time to really break it down and go deeper with it, because that's the first thing you do with food, right? First thing you do with food when you put it in your mouth, you break it
Hmm.
down. You use your teeth to break it down. So really break down the experience, break down everyone involved, everything involved, break down all of the choices that you did make, all of the possible choices you could have made, and what resulted from it, and what any of those other choices could have resulted instead. And really just break it all the way down. And then it'll be easier to identify what you can really learn and extract from it. And then the rest of it you can let go, because, like, after you eat the food and the body takes the nutrients and absorbs the nutrients and makes them part of the skin, the bones, the organs, then you let go of the shit. You know what I mean? You can let the shit go, because if you hold on to that, it becomes toxic. So
Right.
that's why breaking things down and really examining what you can learn is so powerful and beneficial to actually letting things go. Like we already had a bathroom in these dreams already. And I think twice. uh she went to the bathroom. I think Kez was in the bathroom also, weren't she? Yep. Yeah, so letting things go. So the very first step in letting something go is breaking it down, because I mean you can't take a shit without eating something. That's the most powerful thing I've said all day. No, I'm playing. No, I'm just awesome. Anything else on that?
No.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Well, let's keep it rolling. Okay, I keep looking at things. Oh yeah, we already read that. Okay, next one. We're about halfway there. Dreamt that I was at a university I've never been to or seen before. This is funny. Initially, I was on the corridor and two women came to me, and I was trying to keep my eyes open but couldn't. I remember I was trying my best and I was afraid they won't believe me. Okay. Kept trying but couldn't, so I passed out. Then woke up in class. Never been there before, didn't recognize it. Although the colleagues might have been the same, at least some of them. And I kept apologizing to the professor, for I didn't know what happened. Then I remember being really aroused, but don't know why. Then I woke up, and there might have been a bit of sexual activity there. Could this be a new thing I'm learning due to the fact that I didn't recognize the school university? Usually it's one of the schools I've been in, but this one couldn't recognize. So I'm learning and creating something, but that's all I can interpret. Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, anything you guys see in this dream that you want to point out, or maybe ask about? Maybe it's something that maybe you don't understand what it means, but it's intriguing to you, and so you want to know.
Yes, I'm thinking about the opening and closing of eyes in a dream. Because like
Mhm.
when you close your eyes, it's all dark, and that will just represent unawareness. And when your eyes is open, you just become aware of your surroundings around you. So is that what that represents in a dream?
Yeah, yeah. The eyes are unique because you have to really look at the context, because
Mm-hmm.
eyes also provide you with your own perspective. My eyes have a different perspective than your eyes, and so eyes can also represent perspective. Glasses will definitely represent perspective, but that's it's in the word perspective, spectacles, spectator. But anyways, with this, the eyes opening and closing are more due to going unconscious. So yeah, it would definitely have to do with awareness and unawareness. Absolutely. Spot on.
All right.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. I see what you did there. No, I'm playing. Okay. So so first, to touch on what she asked, could this be a new thing I'm learning due to the fact that I didn't recognize the school university? So she's saying, well, this is a new school and university versus one that I haven't been to. Is that what it would represent? But that would be like if it was a school that you didn't go to, but you knew the school. Like I went to all these different schools, but I never went to Oxford. But in the dream, I'm going to Oxford. You know, that wasn't the case here. It was she didn't know what school it was. So it was less of something new, which was still something new, but it was more speaking to, in the other dreams, you were able to identify what you were learning in life, what life lessons you were learning. This one, you're a little less aware. You're a little more unaware of exactly what it is you're needing to learn. Also, because you kind of woke up in the class, you don't really know what's going on. You don't recognize the professor. Some of the students are the same. So some of the parts of yourself that you usually have, at the forefront of your mind and activities, when you're learning things in life, are still there right now. But as far as like the lesson material, I don't know. I don't know what we were learning. I don't know what school I was even in, and so that's more to like really identifying what you have to learn. And then it becomes kind of clear, and the dream kind of shows itself, with kind of being aroused, and there might have been some sexual activity. So it's like, sex is all about creation, creating something new within yourself. Like if I want to be someone who is, if I want to be someone who is more present and more still and more purposeful with my choices, my thoughts, and the words that I speak. And if I'm not currently that way, then I need to take time in creating it. And the first step of creating that is at first having an idea that I can become that way. So that idea is the first seed thought of creation. Similar to when a person is created, that seed that is entered into the womb of the woman is the first seed that's planted to make a new person. People represent our own, aspects of our own consciousness. So if I want to create that aspect of being someone who's very still, calm, serene, purposeful with my thoughts, words, and actions, then I need to create that, And so this dream is more speaking to that's kind of giving insight into what you're learning. You're learning how to create. You're learning, you have the opportunity to really learn how to transform, and how to become a new person, a new DD. Yeah. What thoughts or questions you guys have on that?
Thank you. That's all I got to say. Just thank you. We so
You're
much
more
in
than
that,
welcome.
like one or two sentences on how I can be more present. That helped me a ton. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Man, Kez, every time I talk to you, man, you have progressed tremendously with that, with being more direct, like being more of a director of your mind, being more conscious in choosing the words that you're using, and each word having a purpose. And because of that, you're able to clearly convey your thoughts more, to where it's easier for you to complete a thought in what you're communicating, and then creating space, like that thank you that you just said was very short, to the point, simple. 6 months ago, that probably would have been 5 minutes, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I would be there to embrace it when that was the case. But it's so huge and so beautiful to see that growth. I love it. I love it. Every time I talk to you, you can tell you're more and more concentrated. You're more and more in control of your mind.
Thank you for that also. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank yourself, man. You're the one putting in the work. I'm just noticing it.
I
I'm
make
just the
sure to
one
do that
noticing.
every day.
Good. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So, dreamt all night. Jesus, I feel tired. Well, wait, is she talking Jesus or us? No, I'm playing. Dreamt all night. Jesus, I was tired. I was singing in front of the block where I used to live when I was young. It was night outside. Oh, wow. More harmony, singing. And it was night. So, unawareness. So, try to find out how you are creating more harmony, because like singing, you're the one creating the melody. Dancing, you're just harmonizing with the melody that's already there. You're enjoying the melody that's already taking place. So this singing is very clear that you're creating that melody. If you're playing music versus dancing, both are representing harmony, but it's harmonizing in different ways. One is creating the harmony, one is like you're moving through life already harmonized, and you're just like flowing with the rhythm. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So the next one, also another dream. Hey, y'all gotta catch up to Dee Dee, man. She's dropping these dreams like eggs in the grocery cart.
Man, for real.
Look at this. Look at this. Four. Hold on. 521, 611, 820, 125, 449, 458. And then the next day, 659. Hey, she was bringing in the new year with dreams, Jack. 738. She was dreaming away 2022 and dreaming into 2023. What Peter Tosh say? Walking in the future. Nice, nice. All right. So, where were we? Also, another dream. Apparently, I was traveling to a country, but it was the poorest part of it, and I didn't like it. It was dangerous, and everything seemed cheap and low quality. Had money for a better trip and experience. Befriended some Romanians that I met there. Very weird dream and does not make sense. Asked one of these guys at some point to get me toilet paper or to use the toilet. The toilet was outside. Haha. He brought me like 4 squares, and I remember I was annoyed and told him he's the cheapest person I ever encountered. Hey, only gave you 4 squares? Golly. What was this? Was this COVID lockdown? Told he was the cheapest person I ever encountered. I needed more toilet paper. He eventually brought me more, but I didn't seem happy about, but he didn't seem happy about it. The people there lived very poorly. I remember I was shocked and wanted to go somewhere else, but I didn't. And then all of a sudden, I was somewhere else. I was wearing a black dress, and I went to a banquet at someone, a guy, apparently an ex, but I didn't have an ex like that in real life, only in this dream. So I went there, and they had this party. He wasn't there, but his ex was. I asked around to see if they were fooling around. Apparently, no, but they were seen talking or something. I went in, and I was biting an apple. Hey, more food. Eating more food. Went to the toilet, then left. The party was apparently in a former school I used to learn in. Wow, look at, and this is another thing, like writing down your dreams. Look at all this more expression, more release, more parties, soirees, functions, more school. you know, this is huge. This is huge. This is like writing down your dreams. You can see the synchronistic patterns that develop and really document that progression. We're really seeing it firsthand here with Dee Dee's dreams. So what do you guys see in this dream? Even if it's anything at all, something small, something we may have touched on already, or maybe it's not something you see, but like, again, something you find intriguing and want to know more about and ask about specifically.
I see that as soon as she ate the apple, she went to the bathroom. And
Mm,
she like it was like very quick.
yeah,
Uh
yeah. I'm still listening.
mhm.
Keep talking, but I got to plug in my laptop. Not necessarily. I mean, you
Just
might have been finished, but sorry.
yeah, it's just like that turnaround time was just like very quick. Whatever she learned is
hmm
something that it just happened quickly.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, so then what's the correlation between eating the food and going to the bathroom?
The process of like
Exactly. The process. So whatever it was that she was learning and going through in the dream, she was able to process very quickly. That's amazing. And what's really cool about this is I didn't even pick up on that. And that's what you picked up on. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Good. Good. Progression. Progression is the key to life, especially with dream interpretation. All right. So, one thing that I really see in this dream is the duality here. You guys see a major duality in this dream? Okay. If not, it's okay. Uh, in the first part, everybody's poor. It's a new country, but the poorest part of the country. So poor that if you go to the bathroom, they ain't giving you no toilet paper. And if you ask, they only giving you 4 sheets, single ply, I bet. But then it switches to this fancy function, a banquet. You know what I mean? It ain't no party in the backyard. You know, it ain't no family reunion. You know what I mean? It's a banquet. It isn't even no work function. You know, it's a banquet where everyone, dressed in a black dress. It's a black tie event. You know, it's kind of the picture I had in my mind. You know, some fancy stuff I ain't never been to. You know, and so it's the complete opposite. These people aren't poor. She got a black dress. You know what I mean? They got food there at this banquet. You know, it's abundant. They're gonna at the end of this banquet dinner, there's gonna be food to throw away. Hey, they didn't even have a single piece of toilet paper available to throw away in the first part of the dream. You know, so this is two extremes from and remember, everything in the dream is an aspect of your own consciousness. So for her, this is how she is more progression, but also more like seeing just how much more growth is available. You know, like there's been tremendous growth here that I just from the time of knowing her so long. There's been tremendous growth here where like where she's at today is probably light years ahead of where she was before, at the start of 2022, and in 2021. And so then there is also, with that tremendous growth, there's still so much more growth to be had. Like look at your life. Look at where you're at in your life right now. And think about where you were 10 years ago. And I'm sure there's so many aspects of your life right now that you were dreaming of 10 years ago. you know, and maybe there's only a few, or maybe every aspect. But there's some ways in which the life that you're living now is in some ways a huge progress that was just a dream at one point 10 years ago. So no matter, but yet where we are right now, all of us, I'm sure, if we really, talked about it, it'd be very easy to be like, man, no, there's so much work I gotta do. I mean, so much work I gotta do. I'm in a whole different lifetime from 10 years ago. And I maybe two. I mean, literally, I'm not just joking. Like the trajectory I was on to where I'm at now, I mean, it would have taken two lifetimes to get here with the kind of trajectory in life I was on. And so everything about my life right now is it was a dream. Literally everything about my life right now was a dream. And so, it's just evidence. We can like have this self-reflection to see that there's always going to be more. There's always going to be more work to do. There's always going to be more progression to be had. There's always going to be more to evolve into, no matter how far we've come, So with that, be easier on yourself, be more gentle on yourself, be more patient with yourself. Every single goal that you have, if you woke up tomorrow and all of your desires were fulfilled, you wouldn't necessarily just become desireless. You would start to create new desires. You know what I mean? Like for the majority of us, we're living in a situation within a society that kind of forces you to seek more money because a lot of your problems can be alleviated with more financial freedom. But if you woke up tomorrow and was handed $10 million in your bank account, tax free or already taxed or whatever, that, yeah, the biggest list of your problems you could probably solve right there. I no longer have to rent. Let me go buy a home, cash. You know what I mean? Let me buy a couple more for my friends and family, big ones. Y'all can just live together, but you got no more bills. Let me go ahead and buy a car, cash. Let me go ahead, and buy a grocery store with 2 million. Then I'll never have groceries for life. I'm the one running the grocery store. You know what I mean? So all of your basic needs are now met for life. You know what I mean? Let me put 4 million of it into a trust to where I always have 50,000 every year, no matter what. Boom, never have to work again. Boom, that's taken care of. So immediately, once you have that set, now all your needs are met, and now you're going to live a whole different life. That's going to create more desires. Now, what do I desire to do? I mean, there might be a couple days or weeks where you're just kind of like dumbfounded, like, man, what do I do now? But trust me, you will find things to do when you will create things to do. And so that's just me trying to say, no matter where you are in life, man, be patient with yourself because you have the whole rest of your life to continue to progress and grow. That's all there is. That process is all there is. The journey in making, in reaching your goal, in reaching your destination is 99% of it. You know, the journey itself, the progression towards it. Once you attain it, that's so momentary and fleeting because as soon as you attain it, boom, you're off to a new thing. You know what I mean? So the journey is what is there. So enjoy the journey. But anyways, I see a very dualistic thing. So it's very clear here that one, because also, like Kes or like you pointed out, she went to the bathroom at the end, but also she started out in the bathroom. So it's like very synchronistic here, where there's like pretty much she's has entered into her poverty consciousness in this first part of the dream. That's exactly what it is. Like every single thing within this dream is poor, low value, no value, and it's all her. So it's no, low self value, and so which is at the core of poverty consciousness. Places in dreams represent the state of mind, and then the content of, because consciousness is dual. You have the state of consciousness and you have the content of consciousness. The state of your mind and then the content that makes up that state. The things that make up that, all of the things within that space of the dream. So like if you have a poverty consciousness, the poverty consciousness is the state, but the thoughts that make up that consciousness of, I'm not enough, or I don't have enough, or I'm no good, I never can do anything, I don't deserve anything better. You know what I mean? All of those thoughts are the content that make up that state of mind. And so it's very evident that this is like the poverty consciousness that she has been working to move beyond. And how did she get there? He eventually brought me more, but didn't seem happy about it. The people that lived there were very poor. I remember I was shocked and wanted to go somewhere else, but I didn't. I don't want to be poor no more. I don't want to think in a poor way anymore. I don't want to have low self-value anymore. I don't want to have low self-worth anymore. And I don't want this, but I'm not doing anything to get there. And then all of a sudden, I was somewhere else. In an instant, you are where your attention is. In a dream, it's no more evident than when you're in a dream or actually projecting. You are where your attention is. If you move your attention somewhere else, you will go to somewhere else. So she was still in it, but thinking, I don't want to be here. But then there wasn't even time to process the thoughts of, I don't want to be here. I want to be there. It was, I don't want to be here. I want to be somewhere else. And then as soon as she thought of somewhere else, boom, she was there somewhere else. The complete opposite. So when you're moving throughout the day, what you put your attention on grows. When you identify and become aware of, oh wait, why am I thinking of this? These unproductive negative thoughts enter your mind, then use that awareness to spark a direction for your attention to go. And so, okay, if this isn't where I want to be, if these aren't the thoughts I want to think, then what do I want to experience? And what thoughts correlate with that? What thoughts support that? What thoughts instigate that? And then move into it, because the very first thing, as soon as she was there, and then all of a sudden, I was somewhere else. What's the very next thing she says? I was wearing a black dress. She focuses right on how she is expressing the thoughts that she is expressing to herself, the self-talk that she has, how she's expressing her thoughts and emotions. And so exactly what I said, as soon as you identify these negative, unproductive thoughts, it's like, hold on, I need to put my attention somewhere else. I need to entertain other thoughts and express those thoughts. So that's the very first focus of this second part of the dream. As soon as she gets there, boom, what's the first thing noticed? The expression. And then the people, the aspects that correlate with this. I don't really know these people. I'm not too familiar with this. She was very familiar with this. I mean, I'm just know her a little more. I'm pretty sure she's Romanian. I'm almost certain. Could be wrong, but I'm almost certain. She's Romanian. So that's very familiar. You know, it wasn't like because the dream could have easily been she was in another country and it was just people in that country because she didn't say it was in Romania. She was in another country. Could have been just been people in that country, but it was Romanians, like something she's the most familiar with. It wasn't Italians, wasn't Chinese, wasn't Mexicans, wasn't Africans. You know what I mean? It was Romanians, like the most familiar. And then to people that she just doesn't know. Like, yeah, I mean, apparently this guy was my ex, but it wasn't in real life, just in the dream. You know, didn't know any of these people in the party, none of these people, you know, but it's starting to become familiar, you know, and wanting to ask around to see, oh, are y'all fooling around? Or maybe I can get back with them, you know, and so wanting to become more, you know, I want to integrate more with this group, you know, than the one I'm more familiar with, the poverty consciousness. You know, this is man, this is the most potent of all the dreams that she's had so far. Beautiful. Chaotic dream. Well, I say potent dream. The wild, chaotic ones are always the best that I feel. So yeah, what do you guys see in this, or any thoughts or comments about it?
I mean, I had a question earlier on. I was thinking about what the poor place means, but you kind of touched on that, and you already gave the answer to it. So I don't got nothing
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
The only thing is right where she says, apparently this is a former school that I used to learn in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, does that mean basically like the lesson is learned?
Well, it's so like a school in a dream, whenever it's like going back to a school you've already been to,
Mm-hmm.
it's that you're like having an opportunity to learn a lesson that you had an opportunity to learn before but didn't learn. You know, like going back to school is a very common dream. It's like one of the top 5 most common dreams. And or either going back to school, or you know, you're in the dream and then all of a sudden you're in class and you're all about to take a test and you didn't prepare for that test. You know, that's something else, but it kind of means a little different. Like you feel overwhelmed with the lesson at hand. You know, you feel like you're not really ready to learn this lesson. But this one is, you know, this is, you know, this prosperity consciousness, shifting from poverty consciousness into prosperity consciousness, is something you've had the opportunity to learn before, but you didn't quite learn it, or you didn't learn it to the most that you're able to, you know. And so now you are like really putting in the effort to learn it, you know, and now you have an opportunity to fulfill this learning and this in these understandings of understanding prosperity, understanding abundance, understanding self-worth, understanding self-value.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good pointing that out. I really like your insight so far. It's good. Because yeah, first you pointed out something that I didn't even notice, and now you pointed out something that I didn't even address. It's good. Good attention as well. You have a command on your attention. That's beautiful. All right. So the next one, we're about 15% the way there. Okay, I've been having way too many dreams lately. I wouldn't say too many, but yeah, a lot. I don't even remember all of them. I'm having 4 to 5 dreams per night. Beautiful. It's crazy. Last night I had some very chaotic. I was in a hospital and there was someone else with me. I don't know why, but at some point I was under the impression I was a cat and him a dog. Very weird, but I could not see our bodies. I remember we were cleaning the hospital with all sorts of tools and it smelled horribly. So we were walking from floor to floor and we were looking to get out of there because I kept gagging due to the terrible smell. At some point, we saw a transparent door and we saw the stairs through it, so we went through that door and got out. Now, when we got out, in the right, there was like a room with all sorts of jars of compote and also some fruits, but they didn't look very good. They were starting to rot, so I didn't take anything. I also remember at some point I was looking at my finger and one of my nails was far back in the finger. I could barely see it. I pulled it out. Wow. It was triangular. Wow. Then I put it back in to look like a normal nail. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, then we'll get into the next part after this. So anything you guys see in this that you want to expound upon or ask about? Okay, awesome.
This one was a little crazy. We're gonna leave it to you.
Yeah, this one is kind of out there. Well, what about hospital? What do you guys think a hospital would represent? If places
Healing.
represent, yeah, healing. Places represent state of mind. Well, what kind of place is this? A healing, healing state of mind. But also a hospital, which what's because this could have very well just been like a doctor's office or a clinic, right? And it still would have the
Mhm.
same thing of healing. But it's a hospital, and hospitals are huge. So, like hospitals are made up of all little rooms, a lot of little rooms for each patient, and the doctors come in and out and visit each patient, right?
Mhm.
So what are some other things that are similar to that? Apartment buildings, where each person has their own little space in this collective one building. Malls, lots of individual shops and stores that are collectively put together for this one building. Dorms, hotels, individual spaces for people to use and live in for a time, all collectively together in this one building. So any kind of building like that isn't just like a state of mind, it's universal mind. The way in which all of our minds are connected together, to form a collective mind. And so like through the universal mind is how we're able to, you know, feel the presence of someone thinking about us without really having any physical evidence to know that. You go to look at your phone to call somebody and they already calling you, or they just sent you a text or something like that. You're thinking of a song, and then somebody else just start, you're singing it in your head, and then somebody else starts singing it out loud, right at the same lines where you were just singing it, And so through those experiences are just evidence of your connection with universal mind. And so this is kind of healing from the universal mind. So like there's some healing going on here through the connections with other people, and so it could be just being with some friends, and that's just such a very comforting time, and it's very healing for her to just hang out with her friends or family or something. This is January 1st, so maybe just the time to just hang out with the friends or family the night before was just very healing, and it might not have been very enjoyable, the healing that was going on, because because they were cleaning also, so kind of really eradicating, getting rid of the unnecessary and unwanted thoughts, and things that aren't productive. And so it wasn't very enjoyable. It didn't smell very good. There was came across some knowledge. There is something to learn here, but this just doesn't seem fun. I'm not gonna partake in this. Let me just get through it and move on. It kind of seemed like, you know. And then what was, does anybody remember what a hand represents? Okay. Hands are very purposeful, they're multi-purposeful. My ears can only do, two things. They can hear things, and you can hang things on them, or they're good for holding, a pencil behind my ear or something, that's about it. A nose is really only good for smelling. I mean, or puncturing and expression. So I mean, other than that, what else is the nose really good for? Can't use the nose to eat. I mean, you can use it to like use a remote control or or your phone or something. You can't use it to drive. You know, it only has one purpose. Your hands. I mean, you use your hands on for like 80 different things every single day. At minimum. And so hands are very purposeful, so they will represent your purpose in life. you know and so the fingernail being out of alignment, that like she took it out and she put it back. And a triangle is all about creation. And so if the healing that she's going through kind of seems uncomfortable, then you need to become more aligned with your purpose, to where it's more fitting and more enjoyable, and you're more aligned with your purpose. Everything's now in alignment, and that will make things more enjoyable while you're continuing to heal. and progress and grow. So that's like the focus of this dream is like, what is your purpose in life right now? Become very clear on that. It might not be 100% clear, but if you're only like 5% clear, become 40% clear on what your purpose is, or maybe only 25. That's still a huge leap from 10 or 15. So that's what I would focus on with that dream. Mm. You guys have anything else on that one?
The transparent door.
Mm.
What's that mean?
Yes, the transparent door. So, uh, um, so what does a door do? What's the function of a door?
To go from one place to another.
One place to another. And what's a place in a dream?
Hmm.
Oh, you was about to say it.
I was trying to just like say, oh no, I don't know.
Oh, okay, I thought you were about to say it. State of mind.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, I
I
don't know.
know. That's why I said you were about to say. I was trying to encourage you that you had the right answer. Yeah. So state of mind. So if a door allows you to go from one place to another and places our state of mind, then what do you think a door would be if you put all that together?
Mhm. Moving from one state of mind to the other.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And what does that really mean? What do you think that really means? Like in the day-to-day activities, moving from one state of mind to another.
Conscious, like being aware, maybe.
Yeah, but like for example, if I became really upset, or what were you doing? What were you doing before this Zoom call?
I was playing with my kids.
Okay, you were playing with your kids. What kind of state of mind were you in when you were playing with your kids?
Happy,
Happy. Okay.
joyous.
Joyous. Okay. Are you in the same? I mean, not to say you aren't happy or joyous now, but are you in the same state of mind once you cued into here versus when you were
Mm,
playing with your kids?
no, I'm in like learning mode now.
Yeah, exactly. You're in a different state of mind, learning mode. You're in a school. You might dream of being in a school tomorrow. You're in learning mode. So, how did you make that shift?
Hmm. I don't know. I was unaware, but I did it.
Yeah, you were unaware, but you walked through a door.
hmm
You walk through a door within your mind to go from one room to another. It might have just been in the same building, because it's not like you came into here and started getting like so extremely away from where you just were. It was a small shift because you probably, still a little happy, a little joyous, maybe not as happy and joyous as it was, that moment with your children, but it's still not too far off. It's not like you went across town in your mind. You just went one door over. So
hmm
that's I just wanted to explain all of that so that you can really not just hear the words and the definitions of these things, but truly understand, what a door means. So then when a door is shut versus open, what and like can you see any door from where you're sitting right now?
hmm
Is it shut or is it open?
Um, I see three doors. One is
Okay.
shut. One is open. One is cracked.
Okay. So what's the difference between the three of those? What's the main thing that's different about each of those? Being open, being shut, and being cracked.
um, I guess like you can't see where it leads. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other door that's open, I can actually see where it go. What's behind the door?
Exactly. Exactly. If there's somebody on the other side of that doorway with the door that's closed, you're unaware. With the
hmm
door that's open, you're aware. So being able to see beyond the door is like awareness. Okay, I'm aware of what's on the other side of this door. Now this door in this dream is transparent. So whether it's open or closed, there's a level of awareness of what's beyond that door.
mm
And so that's stairs. And so stairs give you the ability to move from one floor to another, from one level to another. And so remind me, have you done the dream interpretation masterclass yet?
Mm, I think I have gone as far as you have.
Oh, okay, okay, perfect. Yeah, I, I, I have made it a goal, and it will definitely be up by the end of this month. I guarantee that. So, the last lesson. But anyways, the first lesson we talk. So you're familiar with. We talk about the universal, or the mind triangle, the mind diagram.
Mhm. Right.
And so there's the different floors on there, right? The different
Mhm.
levels. So stairs are your ability to access those different levels, whether from the lower astral to the upper astral, or from the mental level to the upper astral, or from the emotional level down to the physical level. Stairs represent that. So the transparent door, and we saw the stairs through it. So we went through the door and got out. So since she's aware of what's beyond the door, she moved through the door. Whereas if she wasn't aware of those stairs being there, then she might not have known, oh, there's a way out of here. It's like, you know what? I've done enough cleaning. She's already kind of had enough of it. The smells terrible. I'm cleaning the hospital. Can't be fun anyways. And it smells terrible. Oh, look, there's an exit. Let's go over there. So it's like I'm putting in the work and doing what's necessary to really heal kind of something that I'm experiencing right now. But, you know, I'm also aware that I can just move out of this if I don't want to experience it anymore. And I've done enough. I've made a little bit of work, a little bit of progression. That's good enough. I'm out. You know what I mean? And so the
Mhm.
transparent door is like an awareness that I can shift to a more comfortable state of mind right now. Instead of, I mean, because maybe she was, crying and having some emotional day that day. It was just kind of like releasing some things, and that release was just very healing, but it was very uncomfortable. And it's like, you know what? I'm done processing all of this. Yeah, I'm just gonna move into a different state of mind now. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna go for a walk in the woods, or I'm gonna go watch a movie. A comedy to kind of help me lift my spirits, or I'm gonna go buy a new pair of shoes. Visit three different shops. Kind of, you really take my time and just go shop and buy a new pair of shoes. Or I'm gonna call up a friend and see what they're doing and just hang out for a minute and chat. I'm just going to do something else to shift from this that I'm in into something else, anything else. It might not have been like that, but she'll probably know exactly what it was. Like, oh yeah, I did really shift from this to something else. Okay, I see that. you know Nice, good pointing that out again, because again, I completely skipped over that transparent door. Nice. All right. So the next one, I was at a former apartment trying to sleep in my room. My dad was in the bathroom with mom, and they played music loud, and I couldn't sleep. Asked them to turn it down, but they didn't want to. I had an argument with mom and started crying. Told my mom she doesn't love or respect me, and I'll move. Woo wee. Damn. Wanted back, Went back to my room to cry. They turned it down, but I played some music of my own and started crying, feeling unloved and unappreciated. So we see like this
Mhm.
huge cycle here. So like we had all these other dreams that were like, bravo, you're doing great, keep it up. And then we have other dreams of, okay, here's something that you need to focus on now. Okay. And so this is really cool because it's like it has to do with music. And it's like it's so dualistic again. The music represents harmony, but like all of the arguing and everything, there was such disharmony with the parents. There was such disharmony, but yet it was all during music, which represents harmony. And so one thing to remember is with like super conscious, it's not like subconscious and conscious aspects like regular people that you see in your dreams, where like my conscious mind, I can meet someone new and be very friendly. I can meet someone new and be very distant, or I can meet someone new and be very aggressive and violent. And all of us are capable of this.
Mhm.
That's like conscious mind aspects. Some can be productive, some can be very harmful. Um, Super conscious mind is not like this. Your super conscious mind has your best benefit in mind. It is the mind that your spirit uses. It's never going to harm you or hurt you or put you in a bad position, ever. But we can perceive it that way, you know? So, like, parents represent superconscious mind, doctors represent superconscious mind, bosses represent superconscious mind, um, teachers represent superconscious mind, pastors or anything like that represent superconscious mind. You know, anyone who has a level of authority in some sort of area within your life, you know, they will represent that inner authority. Well, if you're dreaming of like a boss, then it's feeling like your inner spirit is telling you what to do. You know, if you're dreaming of a teacher, then it's like feeling like your spirit is trying to teach you something, you know, have you to learn something. If you're dreaming of like a pastor or something, it's feeling like your spirit is trying to guide you. If you're dreaming of a parent, it's more feeling like your spirit is trying to nurture you and stimulate growth within you, you know. And so with that, whatever kind of experience she's having with, you know, being guided by her own spirit, she's kind of feeling like she's had enough of it, you know, like, oh my God, this you know, I've been meditating, I've been, you know, working, writing down my dreams, working on dream interpretation, I've been practicing concentration, and shit's just not going right these last couple of days. Like, I'm doing something wrong, this is not right, this can't be what you've been setting out for me. You know, I've been doing all of these good deeds and being nice to people and kind of trying to harmonize with other people, and then I get shitted on by these two people, you know, or this experience. You know, this can't be right. This can't be how it's turning out, man. You must not be respecting me or loving me if you're allowing this to happen, you know. And so that's kind of like what's kind of playing out here is kind of like feeling like the guidance of your inner spirit isn't really looking out for you, even though it is. It's just how you're perceiving it, you know, whenever it has to do with superconscious mind. It's more just how you're perceiving it versus how it really is. Whereas like with other people, if this was the case, it would be more so like, oh, this must be like an aspect that really doesn't care about you. You know, you just like, oh, I don't care what happens to me, man. I'm just gonna go to work, go home, go to sleep, wake up, and go to the bar on weekends. And like, I really don't care what happens to me. I really don't care what I do in life. You know, like, that might be like something if this wasn't her mom and dad and just regular people, you know, like they don't care about you. But it's more so like you're perceiving that guidance from your superconscious mind. It's like, man, do you really care about me or not? You know, like, man, I'm not feeling the love right now as other times when I'm, you know, feeling the bliss after I come out of a great meditation. Then just everything falls into place. The things I've been wanting to manifest just are instantly happening. You know, it's not like one of those days. It's like, well, went and meditated and I had a great dream this morning, but you know, I showed up late for work. They had all this extra work for me. You know, I get out of work and go home and I catch a flat tire. You know what I mean? And then I go home and there's an extra bill. My electric bill was all of a sudden $400, you know. And it's like, man, nothing seems to be going right today, man. Y'all really looking out for me because I've been doing all the right things, I feel like, you know. So that's kind of more along the lines of like what may be happening in someone's life with a dream like this.
Would you say that she's not listening to her, like her higher self or whatever?
Yeah, 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 man. You need to be with me every time I interpret dreams. Because that is very, very clear here. You know what I mean? I was at a former apartment trying to sleep in my room. My dad was in the bathroom with mom, and they played music loud, and I couldn't sleep. Asked them to turn it down, but they didn't want to. I had an argument. Yeah, yeah, just not really taking time to listen. You know, you're trying to sleep, but they're trying to harmonize. It's like, now's not the time for sleeping. Now's not the time for assimilation. Now's the time for unification. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Good eye, good eye. I was also picking all sorts of flowers for someone, but can't remember who. I was at countryside where my grandparents lived. The flowers were beautiful and different. Beautiful, beautiful. And I touched on flowers a lot in another post on here. Yeah, flowers are going, you know, earth represents subconscious mind. And so the thoughts that you plant within the subconscious mind to then formulate your beliefs, are going to represent plants and trees and things. So like the thoughts that you use to program your mind is going to be the flowers and the plants. Beautiful. Okay, in the last dream, I was in some place with lots of rooms, and I put my luggage in a room on a bed. Then I looked for a bathroom. I found one. Apparently, I was looking for some huge tampons for a horse or a cow. Wow. I think to save it as it was bleeding. Oh, okay. I did not see the animal. I just knew that that's what I had to do. Couldn't find anything, and then I wanted to go back to my room, but I couldn't find it anymore. So I took a round, and so I look around, and I finally found it. But some girls took over my room, and I told them that is my bed, but they didn't want to move. And I told that girl if she doesn't move, I'll break her nose by tonight. Dang, and put a time limit on it too. She still didn't leave, so I started beating her pretty bad. Wow. Then all of a sudden I thought, what the fuck is wrong with me? I have lost my calm. And I worked so hard on keeping my temper for so long, and I lost it here. But then continued to be. Hey, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I wasn't ready for that next line. It's like I'm beating her up. Like, wow, okay, brutal, El Brutal. And then all of a sudden I thought, what's wrong with me? I have lost my calm, and I worked so hard on keeping my temper for so long, and I lost it here. But then continued to be. Oh man, I wasn't ready for that one. As she was stubborn and still didn't want to leave. Weird dreams I had. So this is what I was talking about. There's in the past there were dreams of like fighting a lot, a lot in her dreams. But the fighting went to like very aggressive arguing, and then we had the progression into the other one. So it's exactly like I said. No matter how much growth and progression and evolution you move through, there's always going to be more. And so we saw a whole progression of like, wow, you have been doing great. Here's the evidence of this. And then also here's some more things to now work on. Now that we reached this level, here's a new level of things to work on, which was evidence. We knew it was coming. The universe been telling her this. Nature has been telling her this with the 11, the three ones, and the four ones, new levels of individuality, understanding yourself as an individual. You're attaining new and higher levels continually. And so now that we are on a new level, here's some new lessons. And so not only like before, it was like fighting and beating people up without any second thoughts. Now there was second thought. There was first thought, beat her up. There was second thought, maybe I shouldn't do this. Beat her up. No, but it was a progression though, because it was still slow, like I don't know how many warnings she was giving out in the other dreams when she was, beating herself up about things. This one there was a warning at least. Hey, I'll break your nose by tonight if you don't do this. Okay, it's night time. But so yeah, it says couldn't find anything. Oh yeah, because the first part was in some place with lots of rooms, and I put my luggage in a room on a bed, and I looked for a bathroom. Wow, another bathroom again. So there's a lot that she's been letting go of and needing to let go of, and aware that she needs to like release a lot, and has been releasing a lot. And then the animals, the blood represents life force energy. And so like this luggage that she's been carrying around, like just and needing to let it go, there's an awareness, like once she found a bathroom, like I found one, and apparently I was looking for some huge tampons for a horse or cow. So it was like, okay, there's like, you're losing a lot of energy by being very habitual right now. Unless it was a horse, then it's like willpower. Like it's taking a lot of energy to use your willpower to you know carry this luggage that you're just dragging around with you everywhere. These things that you're just like carrying with you and not letting go of. And then I couldn't find anything, and then I wanted to go to my room, but I couldn't find find it anymore. So I took around, so I look around and finally found it, but some girls took over my room, and I told them that is my bed, but they didn't want to move. And so she said right there, didn't want to move. You know what I mean? And then later she describes the girl as stubborn. She didn't want to leave. So it's like even though she didn't know the girl, the dream's telling her what the girl represents, her own stubborn nature, you know. And so because she's being stubborn and throughout the day, she's beating herself up for it. Man, why am I so stubborn on this? Like, why do I have to be so stubborn? You know, and I can understand that because I'm a Taurus, so I can understand kind of like questioning why you're so stubborn and things. But I don't really beat myself up over it anymore. I used to, but I've gotten to a point of like just really assessing, like, okay, do I want to be stubborn here or do I not? And then making a choice, like, yes, I do want to be stubborn here, or no, let me just concede. Like sometimes I'll just concede entirely and get absolutely nothing of what I wanted because I'm like, I do not need to be stubborn here. Let me just really make sure I'm not. And just in order, instead of like fighting with my nature at all, I'm just going to cut it off completely and just give in 100%. And so yeah, so that's like one thing to maybe look at for her is don't really fight with yourself on it, because that's what's going on. You're beating yourself up. You're literally beating yourself up about something, like literally, and then you're kind of aware that it's happening. Like, wow, man, I've been doing so much work with eradicating these thoughts and not thinking in this way anymore, and here I am beating myself up again, and then it gets right back into it. But you can see, like, it's funny when we're reading in the dream, but you can see how clearly evident that is of, man, oh man, why am I beating myself up over this? I've done so much work towards not doing this anymore, towards not thinking in this way. And here I am beating myself up over it. You know, that whole dialogue is still beating yourself up over the fact that you're beating yourself up. And so that's probably definitely what was happening with this, where like, she's beating this girl up, and then was like, oh man, why did I lose it right here? I did all this work just to lose it right here. Yep, sure did. And so that's probably definitely what's going on there. Any other thoughts or questions or insights on this?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the last dreams here, or maybe it's one dream. I'm in the car driving and I pull up to a parking lot. I park, I get out of the car and I start to walk up to the building. As I walk up to the building and I looked back and I see a lady pulling up in the parking lot, and she's in a Charger. She parks beside another Charger that looks like hers, both white, but it's a little bigger engine than hers. She's taking pictures and stuff like that. I turn and go to the building. It was some type of gathering. I'm not really sure what, but I wasn't there long. And as I'm leaving, there is this guy named Christian. He asked me to watch his nephew while he went and did something. I said, okay. And so as I'm watching his nephew, everyone is asking, was it this is the baby? I told them that it was not his baby. It was his nephew. And I was just watching him. I'm watching him, my uncle calls, and I'm on the phone with my sister and him. And he's asking what happened, that it wasn't right for our cousin to think that she was better than us. And as this conversation is going on, I'm talking about the lady who I seen pull up in the Charger as if she was my cousin that he was talking about. I hang up the phone somehow. The baby is back with Christian. I walk inside to get the baby to take him outside to play. He tells me that the baby was sleepy, but he could go play. I went out the back door with the baby. A strange man started talking to me as soon as I walked out the door, and he was talking about checking his sugar as if he had diabetes. I shook my head at him and say, okay, and I just keep going. I ended up getting lost, and I asked myself, how did I end up here? I pick up some type of decoration of an apple that you would put outside and stick in the ground. I said it was pretty and started walking away. I was playing with the baby, but he was falling asleep, so I decided to take him back. I go back in through the back door, and when I leave, I went out the front door, and there was a lady standing right outside the front door, and she started talking to me about how she just left the Anunnaki, and I woke up. Oh wow. So this is the dream you were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Nice. that's what I figured. As soon as I read decoration of an apple, I was like, oh, okay, this is probably it right here. But then I wasn't sure when you said sticking in the ground. I was like, wait a second,
You you know how like
maybe she had
people
two
be
dreams like this.
like people be having those. It wasn't a flag. It was hard. You know how they have you
Yeah.
just stick it in their front door, like in the grass
Hmm.
or something.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it was like that.
Okay, got you. So what is it that you see in this dream, if anything?
Um. Well, now that you taught me of out of the different states of consciousness, the back door, the front door.
Hmm.
Um. I'm really not sure what the baby represents. Maybe mhm.
Well, what are people?
They're all me.
Yeah. But so I mean, so is the tree, so is the apple, so is the house, so is the air, so is the grass, so are the toys, so are the cars. But what part of you? Like
So,
what like who's your best friend?
um, this girl named Renata,
Renata, okay. And who's someone you don't like really being around?
my sister.
Okay. What's I thought you were about to say your cousin. But from the dream. What's the difference between Renata and your sister? What makes them different? Why is one your
Mm,
best friend and one you don't really like being around?
one gets on my nerves.
Okay. And the
Like we
other
just don't
one?
have nothing in common. I would say,
Yeah. And the other one?
like, why she's my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like we can like talk to each other about anything.
Hmm.
There's no judgment, or it's like a safe space or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. And so are you capable of being um non-judgmental?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you always non-judgmental?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Are you capable of being annoying?
Yes.
Okay. Are you always annoying?
No,
Okay. What about what kind of work do you do?
I don't work.
Okay. Um, what like what's somebody like who's somebody out in the out in the community, like not a part of your family or friends network that you interact with regularly?
Hmm. Like just somebody in the workforce.
Or do you know your neighbors?
Nope.
Do you know any of your neighbors?
Not personally.
Okay. But you know of your neighbor, like your
Right.
neighbor. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay. So think of one of your neighbors right now. And
Mm-hmm.
so the neighbor you're thinking of, even though you don't know them, what kind of person are they?
She's a nurse. She seems nice.
Okay, she seems nice. What about her makes you say that she seems nice?
She's always saying hey and coming over here. She always asks me, do I need anything, or
Okay. And so what kind of person is that? Like what separates her versus any neighbor that's not nice?
the other one don't speak at all.
Yeah. So yeah, so kind of like she's just more polite, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like more of a polite person. And so are you capable of being polite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you always polite?
No.
Okay. So people give us, not just people in our dreams, but people give us an opportunity to see the different ways that we are capable of being. That's why we have role models. Oh, I can emulate that person. I can be like that. Some of us grew up with parents where, first thing we said as we were growing up is, man, I'm never going to be like that. you know, and
Mm-hmm.
so people give us an opportunity of the different ways that we are capable of being, the different characteristics of our own personalities, you know. And so people in our dreams are going to represent those different characteristics, those different personalities that we have, those different masks that we can put on. So like if was this the same sister that was on the phone with your uncle?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you when you think of her, you think of someone who's annoying, then when she shows up in your dream, it's reflecting a part of you that you find very annoying, and so, or being
Mhm.
annoyed about, or being annoying to others, and so, not that she's not in all of your dreams. She's hardly even in this one, so you're not always annoying, but there are, you said it yourself, I can be annoying. I can be, but I'm not always annoying. No, not at all. You know, your uncle, what kind of person is he? That's what he's going to represent. Christian, what kind of person is he? That's what he's going to represent. Well, let me think. What's what's a quality that you don't really have right now that you would want to build?
Consistency.
Consistency. Have you been working at trying to build consistency?
Yes.
Okay. How successful have you been so far? What kind of growth and development have you achieved with that so far?
Mm, um, I've been like back and forth. Like I'm being able to do something longer than
Hmm.
what I would do.
Okay,
But
nice.
yeah.
So what are you understanding about consistency now? Like what do you understand about consistency now that you didn't, a year ago?
Hmm.
Or understanding what it means to be consistent?
Yeah, just doing it, you know, no
Hmm.
matter what.
Okay, nice. Nice. Like discipline, it sounds
Yes,
like
discipline.
the no matter what part, like makes me think of like being disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you do have to be disciplined to be consistent. That's true. Yeah. Okay. And so, you kind of are getting your legs with being consistent, but not quite developed there yet. You think? Kind of sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that may not be exactly what this baby represents, but if that consistency shows up in your dream, it's going to be represented by a baby, you know, something, because this baby doesn't really sound like it was like a baby you have to cradle in your arms, because you turned around and it was gone. You know what I mean? And then you like walked out, we're going to play with it. If it was a baby you were cradling in your arms, you could have played with it right there. You don't have to go to the backyard. So it sounds like a baby that's developed enough to kind of move around on its own. It's got its own legs underneath it, but it still
Mm-hmm.
needs some guidance and attention. Kind of like your consistency, like being consistent, this new quality that you're building within yourself. You've already seen signs and evidence that it exists, so it's been birthed, but it's not quite a fully developed aspect of who you are. Like if you were to say you are a very consistent person, sounds like you might not, because when I said what's something you would want to build that you currently aren't, that's what you said. So
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be like a baby isn't yet fully developed. This a toddler, it has some legs under itself, but you can't really leave it on its own. You still need it to give it attention. Whereas like a child, you can kind of leave it in the other room playing amongst itself and just check in on it from time to time. A teenager, you just kind of need to continue to give it guidance. Like remember this, hey, learn this, but for the most part, if need be, it can survive on its own. A teenager can survive on their own, you know. But an adult is someone who can produce for themselves, take what they've learned and use it to produce. And then you have beyond that, the fourth stage of growth is wisdom. You understand something so much that you can teach it to others. Right now, consistency, you're starting to get your legs underneath you with consistency, but you still need to keep your attention on it or else it might go away. The growth that you've had, might die and go away until you get to a point where, okay, you can kind of just let it ride and you'll just remain a consistent person to a certain degree until you continue to grow and develop into, like adulthood. Okay, I am a consistent person. And if there's no doubt about it, it's very evident. Other people can see that I'm consistent with my actions, with my words. I'm very consistent with the things I want to do. I'm very disciplined. But then you'll eventually get to a point where you understand consistency so much that you can teach someone else consistency, you know? And so I'm saying all of that to show the full spectrum to really understand what a baby is going to represent,
Mm-hmm.
because the baby is at the center point of this dream. You know, the lady driving up is there, and that's kind of how it starts out. But then you take on this baby from Christian, they leave, you're on the phone call. As soon as you realize the baby's not there, what's the first thing you do? Let me go get this baby. You know what I mean? What are we going to do? We're going to go to the backyard, have some fun. We're going to enjoy this growth that has been experienced. You know, you never actually make it there, but you do come across some knowledge. Okay, there's something to learn here. There's something I'm starting to understand something about you know, consistency or whatever it may be, you know, but I can't really identify what it really is. You know, how real is it? You know, am I really starting to be consistent or not? You know, am I just, you know, faking myself out that I'm being consistent, or am I really, you know, building and producing something here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a beautiful, beautiful dream. Now, the first part with the chargers, you know, that's going to represent your body, you know, your physical body, your physical life. And a charger is it's, you know, a sports car. And so you know, if the lady pulls in and she taking pictures, right? Let's see.
Mm-hmm. She
Yeah.
pulls him beside another charger,
Hmm.
but the one she pulled beside was like an upgrade of hers.
Okay. And so there's ways in which you are visualizing um, you know, your physical body and physical life improving and being built up, you know, evolving into a new level, a higher upgrade, you know, and so that's beautiful. So more healing and more progression and growth in life. And so that's how you're kind of starting out. And then there's this communication, you know, with like your uncle. What kind of person is your uncle?
Um, I don't know. It's my dad's only brother. I stayed with
Hmm.
him when I was like a teenager,
Yeah.
but I
So
don't
was
know,
he
like
kind of like a father to you in
maybe
some ways?
a little bit, yeah, a little
Okay.
bit.
So yeah, because like uncles and aunts are a little tricky because sometimes depending on, you know, some people have relationships with their uncles and aunts where they are like an authority figure in their life. You know, they did help mold and guide them as they grew up. And some, you know, like me, I have some aunts and uncles that were 100% like that. That I did live with at times, you know, like you. But I have others that they were never anything more than, you know, hey, how you doing at Christmas and Thanksgiving, or if at all, even then, you know. And so you know, so depending on the relationship, it might just be just a, you know, normal conscious aspect or subconscious aspect, or it may also be super conscious mind. So it sounds like for you, this was more like super conscious mind. Um, and so like communication with your super conscious mind, with your spirit, is kind of like prayer sometimes. And so you were on the phone with both of them, and it might not be that, you know, you have to kind of identify how you really see him. Do you really see him as an authority figure, you know, today, even though he might have been like that in the past? Like, is he someone you would go to for guidance and things? Or so he might not be. But it's all about communication, you know, because you were on the cell phone. So this is all about like how you're communicating with yourself, the thoughts that you are you know, thinking towards yourself, and the value, because it's all about, you know, our cousin thinks she's better than us, you know. And so it's like you're experiencing more growth and more value, more self-value, more self-worth, but yet there's a part of you that is maybe like you're wondering if you are deserving of it, or you know, you're wondering, like I said, you know, if it's really there. um you know, or are you just faking it, like you think you're better than, you know, all you think you're getting better than you were before, but you're no different than you were before, kind of thing. So there's like ways in which you're entertaining these kinds of thoughts. And so it could be that you know, you're just entertaining these kinds of thoughts, or that, you know, your super conscious mind is bringing it to your attention, that these thoughts are there. Either way, it's the thoughts are there and need to be addressed. And when they come up, so when they come up, be like, yes, I am deserving of the growth that I'm experiencing. It is creating more self-worth, self-value. And it's not really that it's creating more self-worth, self-value, because you can't create any more worth or value. We are all tremendously, immensely worthy and valuable. It's just our perception of it. How much of it can we perceive? How much of it can we see? How much of my own value am I really aware of? Or am I not aware? Or am I tricking myself? And I'm not, I don't think that I'm worthy or valuable. But the value and worth is already there. It's just about really seeing it and knowing that it's there. And so that's kind of where it seems like you're at. It's like really starting to open up and really see your value and your worth. It's a beautiful dream.
Okay, I have one more dream that I haven't put in here yet.
Okay.
But I'm only gonna tell you part because we already been on here for a while. So, in the dream, I'm trying to talk to my mom. Now we was just talking and I can hear her clearly. And then someone steps into the room, so we stop talking. And when they leave, we start back talking again. And now I can't hear her. It's like she sounds far away or muffled or something. And so somehow I pull off some headphones. They wasn't there before. I don't know, but I pull off some headphones, but I still can't quite hear her. So I reach inside of my ear and I pull out a Q-tip, but the cotton on the end of the Q-tip wasn't there, and I still can't hear her. So now I'm digging, trying to get the cotton out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think to myself, like, how did this get here? Because I don't stick Q-tips in my ear.
Yeah.
So I pulled out the cotton and then I woke up. But as I woke up, I was really digging inside of my ear.
Oh, wow. Nice. Nice. Okay. So what do you think that dream's speaking to?
Um,
Like waking up from that dream, it might have been hard, but after us spending the last like 2 hours just going over dream after dream, symbol after symbol, you kind of see the main theme. What's the main theme of this dream?
um, not listening to my higher self, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, was it your mom? Did you say your
Yes,
mom?
it
Oh,
was
okay,
my
okay.
mom.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I was trying to listen. I
Mm-hmm.
was
Yeah.
trying, and I'm trying to get the blocks out of the way.
Yeah. So, do you ever pray?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Walk me through the progression of a prayer for you. Like you don't have to walk me through the whole prayer, but like how do you start it? How do you end it? Kind of thing. Like
The first thing I do is I acknowledge um my mom and my dad both are passed away, so I acknowledge
mhm.
them,
Nice.
acknowledge
Acknowledge the
God,
ancestors. Beautiful.
um, and the angels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
And
then
then
how do you wrap it up?
by saying basically that it's done, thinking that it is done.
Okay. And then what? And then what do you do?
And that's it.
Okay. And then what do you do?
What do you mean? Like after the prayer is done?
Yeah.
That's it. I just pray and I'll just let it go.
Okay. And then just go back to your day.
Mm-hmm.
Like then what do you do? Okay. All right. So if that was like a conversation between me and you, like right now, me and you are having a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between this conversation me and you are having and the one you're having when you're praying?
Mm. I'm listening for a response and waiting.
Yeah, yeah. But it doesn't sound like you're making that space during your prayer. you're sending thoughts out, but you're not giving space to receive thoughts back. You're saying it is done. Okay, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you calling up, hey, mom, pops, how y'all been? I've been doing good. We miss you down here. God, I appreciate everything that you have given to me. I would like your help on these 6 items, please. And thank you in advance for that. And I'll be looking out for you to do that. Thank you. Bye. It is done. Click. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I had something for you.
Yeah.
I had something to tell you, but you weren't listening. You didn't create any space to listen. And so, like my first time somebody really shared that with me, it blew my mind. I said, "Oh my God, I've been praying this whole time. And I never once thought about listening." You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? The people who taught me how to pray, I'm sure they never once thought about listening. And so that's how my meditations go from now on. My first 5-10 minutes is praying. And then my next 20-30 minutes, it's just listening, expecting to hear something.
Mm.
So people will say I'm sitting there meditating, but I'm just listening. I don't hear nothing with my ears. I mean, they could be building a building next door. I won't hear a lick of it, but I'll hear something. I'll hear something. So yeah,
That's
so do
that's
that. Next time you go to pray, give yourself double the space, and however long you pray for, if you only pray for like 1, 2, 3 minutes, then give yourself 1, 2, 3 minutes to listen, and you might hear something right away. You might hear something right away, and you might not. You might not hear something for a week. You might not hear something for a month. But if you create that space to listen, you will start to hear something. It may not even be auditory. It may be visual. Whatever sense, whatever inner sense, like right, like when you're dreaming, you're not seeing things with your physical eyes, right?
mm-hmm.
When you were having the conversation with your uncle and your sister on the phone, were you hearing with your physical ears?
No.
Nah, your inner senses, your astral senses. So, you might not hear things when you're listening, expectantly listening in your prayer, because maybe your astral sense of your auditory astral sense might not be so strong, and like the connection with your conscious mind with it. You may see things. Maybe you start seeing visions of things, and then you have to interpret it in the universal language of the mind to understand the communication. Or it may just be feelings. You feel these things, and then you have to find a way to interpret those feelings. And so, but listen, you'll hear something. You will hear something. Now is the time to listen.
I just want to say, like, for the last 2 days, I've been sick for a while, but for the last
Mhm.
2 days, I really haven't coughed. But when I went to go try to ask you my question, it didn't want me to get it out. I swear it didn't. And now I didn't ask it. I'm okay now.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because I mean, it's going to take a lot of willpower and discipline to do this, because your ego knows what is at stake for your ego if you do this. Your ego is going to lose a lot of control if you spend every day, praying for 5 minutes and then listening for 5 to 10 minutes. And if you do that every single day, 3 months from now, your relationship with your ego is going to be completely transformed. It's no longer going to have any type of control. You will be the master of the ego.
Mm.
Mhm. And that's why stuff like that is that's where a lot of those obstacles come from in your mind. Like, man, why am I doing this? Ah, man, I don't want to do this. That's not really you, because you really do want to do it. That ego, you don't want. The ego don't want to do it. You don't want to lose control, or what little control it has left. If you've already started to take steps to take over control and mastery of yourself and your mind.
Well, thank you for all your
Yeah.
wisdom.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's of no use if you don't apply it to your life and use it to cultivate your own wisdom and knowledge, you know, so you can know. Because maybe I'm just lying and just want you to sit in the corner, you know. So find out for yourself if you really will hear something or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. You have anything else you want to ask about or share or
Um,
about your own growth and development of any kind? Or we can always
well,
save it for
I
next
know like
month.
when you was
Yeah.
interpreting my dream about the cars and the physical body, I just wanted to say that I started a fast,
Oh yeah.
a fruit
Nice.
fast, 2 days ago. So that was like really good. I was like,
Nice. Nice. So you started out visualizing upgrade to your body and then started taking steps to implement it. Beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. Nice. How's that going? What's your experience been like today?
Um, it's been okay because I didn't cook today. I
Hmm.
had the kids eat what I cooked yesterday. Yesterday
Nice.
it was hard because I was in there smelling the food, and
Yeah, yeah.
so today was
It's always the first day is always the hardest, anyways. Yeah.
so it's been all right. I haven't made no slip ups.
Mhm. I remember the
Good.
first time I fasted more than one day. And I mean, I fasted a lot when I was growing up. My mom would have us fast. I mean, I don't know
Hmm.
if it was, just, I mean, I'm sure a lot of it was spiritual, but I think maybe 20 to 30% of the times was just, budgetary decisions. But I never actually fasted once. Like maybe like 10 to 15 times we fasted when I was a kid growing up. Not
Mm.
one time did I actually fast. Like I mean, I would fast the whole day, but then I'd be laying in bed and just waiting for everybody to go to sleep. As soon as I knew everybody was going to sleep, I sneak into the kitchen, eat one slice of cheese, and then run back to bed, go to sleep. Like, oh, okay, I've ate something. Go back to sleep. So really, I never really fasted till I was an adult. But I remember the first time I actually did fast, like multiple days. When I woke up on the third day, I realized, wow, I have never in my life been hungry or starving, you know, because
Hmm.
I've gone 2 full days now and some because I didn't eat except for 3 days back. It's the morning of the third day. So that means that my last time eating was, before I slept on that first day. So more than 2 days, 2.5 days. And I'm not hungry. And I go through the whole third day, just not even hungry at all. And anytime I did kind of get hungry, I would either drink some water or drink some tea.
Hmm.
And and I really realized like, wow, I've never been hungry my whole life. It's just always been, body reactions and ego and things, And it was fascinating awareness. So yeah. So yeah, that first day is tough. But once you get back that, man, it's a coast. It's a coast. You almost don't want to end it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just doing fruits for
Yeah, that's
40
good. That's
for
good.
42 days.
42 days. Okay, beautiful. Powerful. Powerful. Nice. Nice. Awesome. I'm excited to see what comes of it on the 41st day or 42nd day.
Me too. Like, because I know that fasting isn't only physical. It's going to open my mind,
Mhm.
for some spiritual stuff to come through too. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It makes your body lighter. So you're not as your spirit, your soul and spirit aren't as attached to the body. So it's easier to separate. So your dreams are going to deepen, your meditations are going to deepen. All of that is going to deepen because you'll be more connected to the spiritual and the astral. Nice. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. Well, before we get to Kiss, I just want to share next week we are going to I don't know which one I think we're gonna do lunar cycles and solar cycles next week as a lesson. And then I was gonna do life force energy, lesson one in life force energy. And then but I think I'm gonna skip that to the end of the month or next month and this month focus on lunar cycles and solar cycles because of where we just left a major solar cycle um, point, pivot point, and also once lunar cycle is coming up this Friday, so we'll have just passed that as well. So it'll be a good point to bring that up. So that's what we'll be talking on next week, and then last Wednesday of this month, I've already set specific reminders to make sure that I'm well aware of it leading up to it and don't miss it for the last Wednesday of this month, another Q&A. So I'll be excited to hear about your experiences this coming month of on meditation and well listening after your
Yeah,
prayer.
listen.
Yeah, yeah, nice, nice. Well, thank you, thank you. So, what about you, Kaz? You have anything to share or ask or go over or expound upon or relay or convey?
Of course, of
Oh
course, of
yeah.
course. A dream. Get my posted in the chat. Hey, can you still hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
Just make it short. And this dream was me visiting my mom's job.
Okay.
So I went inside of the job, and for some reason, everybody there, they had their own little room and their own
I'm
little
still
bed,
listening.
but their bed was super small.
Mm.
And so then I kept going around to the other room, searching and searching and searching, but all of them were full. Till I found me a different room. It wasn't full. It had a big old bed on it. Not that, that's the cleaning stuff. A lot of cleaning stuff on the floor.
Wait, hold on. You're cutting out some. You said until you found a different room. I didn't really hear anything after that.
Yeah, until I found a different room. That's when I went wrong and found me a room. It had a lot of cleaning stuff in it. It had a lot of cleaning stuff inside the closet. I checked out and it kind of reminded me of my old home, but it was a nice room. And I was looking at the cleaning stuff and I thought of lawnmower because all the cleaning stuff were kind of red, like vacuum cleaners, carpet cleaners, they were all red. So I thought of a lawnmower. And I appeared quick, but anyway, after that, I was about to lay down on the bed, but I woke up. It's a pretty little simple dream.
Okay. So it was cutting out a little bit again, but did you say a vacuum cleaner? And you were cleaning with a vacuum cleaner?
Yes, I saw a vacuum cleaner, but I wasn't cleaning with it.
Oh, okay. Saw a vacuum cleaner. Okay. All right. So what do you see in this dream?
I see a super conscious mind. I see a productive state of mind. I see assimilation. That's cleaning supplies. I think I really haven't had any cleaning supplies in my dreams before.
Yeah. Well, what's the purpose? What's the function of cleaning supplies?
The function is to just clean stuff. To clean.
Well, how do you know what to clean and what not to clean?
Depends on the type of what am I trying to say? Depends on the type of cleaning tool you're using.
Okay. Well, why do you clean something? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of cleaning anything?
So it can be in my ideal image of what I want it to be. Basically to clean off any of the dirt or disgusting stuff I don't want on it.
Exactly. The stuff that you don't want. And so what is it that you're cleaning? Different things within the room? And I remember earlier I was talking about consciousness is dual, right? You remember what the two things were?
Two things were? Male and female? Is that what you're doing? Or you
no, well, like consciousness, there's the state of consciousness. So like the room you were in, your mom's job is the state, a productive state of mind. But what makes up that state of mind? The things.
The contents of it.
Exactly, the content of consciousness. So the content of a productive state of mind needed cleaning, needed updating, needed upgrading, you needed to remove some thoughts that were unwanted, that were not, that weren't productive, that were disgusting and dirty and needed to be cleaned. So, that's what cleaning will represent in the dream. It's kind of removing and eradicating those unwanted thoughts that are, ruminating within that state of mind.
I can completely see that. Once again, you are 100% accurate on that.
I'm not accurate on it. Your subconscious mind is what's accurate on it. I'm just, like Google. What does this mean in Chinese? Google, ni hao.
Well, I still think open heart. You're actually looking at something that makes sense. If it's telling me what it means, my mind is actually showing me a reflection on how I've been thinking. Yeah, so
I can't really understand what you're saying right now.
yeah, I'm cleaning something right now. So
Oh, okay. You
yeah,
cleaning something right now. Look.
yeah.
Nice. Nice.
I had two more questions. What were they? No, one of them was about the superconscious.
Have you ever started doing the memory exercise, the 5-day 5-step?
I did five step. Nope. I saw a
Okay.
lot of it though. Like in the past 3 weeks, I had no idea whatsoever that you had an exercise for that.
Okay. Yeah, memory exercise. If you click the link, the Stand Store link, it's on there. It's a
Mhm.
free PDF on there. I need to make a video on it sometime. But
Mhm.
the so what did you do? What did you do before what were you doing before this Zoom?
For the Zoom, I was
Mhm.
sitting on the couch waiting for it to start.
Okay. Did you have school today?
Yep.
Do you remember leaving school?
Yep.
What'd you have for lunch?
For lunch. I
Mhm.
need lunch.
You didn't eat lunch. What'd you do during lunch?
Let me quick remember. What did I do? I switched tables because the friend said we'll probably get called out to recess. Sure.
Okay. What do you remember getting to school today?
Yep.
You remember walking through the door?
Yep.
Okay. Do you remember waking up this morning?
Right about now. Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you remember what you were doing last night before you went to bed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember what you had for dinner last night?
Wait. I think so. I think so.
Okay. Uh, well, what else do you remember doing after school yesterday?
After school, came home. I
Okay. Do
played
you
a
remember do you remember coming home?
home. Yes, I do.
Okay. What's something you remember towards the end of school yesterday?
In school, me going to home early to get my stuff. But while I was at school, something towards the end, me just playing basketball with my friends.
Okay. Do you remember getting dressed for school yesterday?
Yes, that was
Okay.
an ass.
All right. So we just did 2 days. So what were your two questions you were going to ask me?
Oh, so weird. The second you just said we did the past 2 days, what was my question? So just felt weird what it was. But let me think. That question. That question. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was trying to ask you. Since Angel was in the Bible,
Oh, I can't really hear you. You said
since
you were
an-
asking.
yeah, since angels in the Bible represent superconscious mind, what would the fallen angels correlate to our superconscious?
Yeah, so angels don't represent superconscious mind. They represent messages from
Oh,
superconscious mind.
messages.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's why, like in the
messages.
Bible, they always come and they say, I'm a messenger. I'm here to deliver a message. You know, they're essentially so like what me what we were talking about earlier about meditating or praying and then giving time to listen and receive the message from superconscious mind to come on down. So like, how familiar with the Bible are you?
Not that.
You know who Jacob, you know who Jacob is?
I know he's inside of the Bible, but nothing
Okay.
specific about him.
Okay. You ever heard of Jacob's ladder?
Yes, but I don't know what
Okay.
it is or what it means.
Yeah, so Jacob's ladder was there was like a vision that Jacob had. Um, what thing plugged in? Oh yeah, here it is. So, okay. So Jacob's ladder. Can everybody see this?
Let me see. Right now, I
All your
just
screen
see a
sharing is
mouse.
paused.
Yeah, it still says you're on Discord right now.
Oh, okay, all right, hold on. New share. Boom. Okay. Now you can see this? Okay. Okay,
Yes.
so this is Jacob's ladder. So where is it in the Bible? I don't remember. I'll find the scripture and I'll put it in the Discord chat. Stimulate some people, be like, oh, what were they talking about? But Jacob has a vision, and the vision that he has, they call Jacob's ladder because he sees this ladder ascending into the sky. The sky represents what? Superconscious mind, right? So a ladder ascending into the sky, boom, 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 this ladder with all these levels. If you really look at it, it almost looks like it's something that's, like if you were to draw a road on a piece of paper, your lines would go like this to look like the distance, And so on Jacob's ladder, he saw angels ascending and descending, because angels represent the messengers from superconscious mind down into our physical conscious mind. And our prayer are the thoughts that we are sending from our physical conscious mind up to our spiritual superconscious mind. And so then after he has this vision, what he then does is stack two stones, one stone on top of a larger stone, and then he cracks some oil over top of the larger stone, which so he kind of like has this long large stone and then places a smaller stone on top of it, right? All right, you can't really let me unblur this. What's going on here? What is really going on here? All right, there we go. So you have this larger stone and then a smaller stone. Maybe grab something you can actually see. You put another smaller stone on top of it, right? That is representing your spinal cord and the brain. And the oil is the chrism, which is the this sacred oil that drips from your brain down your spine. And so depending on the right eating and the certain time of the month, this will happen, and then you have a chance for it to ascend back up into your brain. This is like the whole story of Santa Claus is all about this, because that oil is coming from the claustrum part of the brain. It's Santa Claus comes down the chimney bearing gifts. It's like that oil, that chrism dripping down the spine, which then, the story of Jesus can then rise back up again. And there's certain things that can happen, spiritual things that can happen when you work with that and raise that up. But anyways, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. That is what Jacob's ladder is talking about, which is pretty much referencing how and depicting how angels represent the messages from superconscious mind. And so like the fallen angels represent the ego, because Satan represents the ego. And so, if angels are messages from the superconscious mind that come down, well, those are just thoughts from superconscious mind that are descending down into the conscious mind. Well, as that happens, that now they are down here on earth, right? Down here on the ground level. And so let me go back to sharing that. Down here on the ground level, right? Hold on, let me annotate strong. Yeah, down here on the ground level. Okay. They came down. Now they're down here on the ground level. Well, Satan represents the ego. And so the ego is down here on the ground level, right? Okay. And the main thing about Satan was it was all egoic. Why should we listen to God? We have domain down here. Our spirit isn't in this physical body. We're the ones in this physical body. We have the control. My my spirit can try to guide me all at once. But wait a second, I'm the one that determines what the fuck I do here in this body. I'm the one that makes the decisions. So I don't have to listen to my spirit. Why should I listen to my spirit? And then the more inflated that the ego becomes, like this is the mind triangle, right? The more inflated that the ego becomes, like we all have an ego. Whoops. We all have an ego, right? But how control over your ego is, that's kind of can be off balance. But if you have an inflated ego, that triangle is going to get very off balance if it gets swayed any. You know what I mean? Versus if your ego is just very under your control, that's still pretty stable. It's a terrible drawing. Please do not hold me and judge me by my mouse drawings.
Don't worry.
But yes, so that's what those will represent. It's the thoughts that you have, the thoughts from the ego. That's wanting to remain in control versus you surrendering to your own inner spirit and the guidance of your inner spirit to guide you through life and trusting in it. You remember the second question?
The second question, that was the second question was the answer. I can interpret the dream.
I mean, if you don't remember now, you can always shoot it to me in a message. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yes. How about this? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
What do you suggest would be the right guidance for us?
The right what for what?
The right guidance for me to eat. Right now, I'm doing all fruits and vegetables, raw, non-cooked, with no grains.
Oh, you said the right diet?
Yes.
Okay, and what are you trying to accomplish?
Something's not right. Wait a few minutes and try setting up again.
Healthy.
You could also try unplugging your device and
Okay.
plugging it back in.
What about your body are you seeing as unhealthy that you're wanting to transform?
The amount of fats that I have in my body.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
How much sugar do you consume? Okay. How much bread do you consume? And how much grains do you consume?
None.
None. Okay. Like potatoes, do you eat a lot of potatoes?
I used to do that, but I don't eat potatoes no more since I'm going on raw food. Because
Okay.
I only eat potatoes when I cook it. So not anymore.
Okay. Yeah, so carbohydrates turn into sugars, and sugars a large reason for fats is from sugar, because the body will use the sugar or the carbohydrates turned into sugar as fuel, and then it won't use the fat for fuel. So eating more whole foods, um, like if you're eating just raw foods, I would be sure to eat raw alkaline foods. So look into like which raw foods are you eating that are like, because like potatoes and corn are and cauliflower, and things like that are all acidic foods. They're slightly acidic, but they're still acidifying to the body. So those won't really be your best choice. But yeah, I would look into that, and then also I would look into some moringa, bladderwrack, sea moss, and burdock roots, because those herbs will definitely help drain the body of any mucus. So if you have any in your adrenals or anything, what do you usually drink throughout the day?
Just fruit. I really do wine, but
You drink fruit?
drink some more water. Yes. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
drink
makes
the
sense.
fruit
Makes
from
100% sense.
Oh,
Fruit punch, you
I
said?
know this. No, not fruit punch. I drink the fruit from water. I just
Okay,
eat the fruit and get the water from it. Don't drink
exactly. I got you.
H3O2.
No, that makes sense. One of my first teachers, Osho, would talk about uh, eating your or drinking all of your food. And he would say, whenever you eat your food, chew it 60 times. Every bite, chew every bite 60 times. And that's how you will drink your food. And that's the best way to consume your food. I don't practice that every time. I don't practice that hardly at all, actually. But I have experimented with it and enjoy it in times when I do it. But I should definitely do it more. So I just want to, let you know this is something that I, don't regularly practice myself. but but yeah, that's what I would suggest is starting there. I mean, I know that you work out and exercise, but it's more getting your body to switch from using sugar as a fuel to using fat as a fuel. And that'll be in how much sugar or corn syrup or anything that you're consuming, which doesn't sound like you're consuming any of that, but or any carbohydrates that your body is turning into sugar to use as fuel instead of your fat.
Mhm. I've been waiting to go on my own.
What'd you say?
I said I've been waiting to go on my own vegan fruits and vegetable diet. It's just I didn't know what type of vitamins the fruits and vegetables would give me. So
Mhm.
I didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're, young, and I don't think you have a job or anything. But do you have like $150 you can spare?
Um, I should get some
Okay.
very soon in like the next month.
Well, once a year, what I do is I have a couple friends that do these readings. I used to do them as well with a friend of mine before she moved out to California. Um,
Mhm.
but they still do these readings. And so it's a reading that they will do from, oops, sorry, where'd that go? Oh man, come on. Where's my annotation? There we go. So one of them will put their conscious mind to the side, right? And so they'll operate just from subconscious mind, and they will move their consciousness into the fourth level of mind so that they can then from there see the mental level, the emotional level, and the physical level, as well as the spiritual. And so then they will then relay and report the current condition of your mental level, of your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical body, as well as your spiritual self and your energy body, your all of your chakras. And then um any ailments or misalignments, they will also provide suggestions for healing. So I mean I just get those once a year. I don't go to the doctor ever. If you want, I can share um some of those with you so you kind of hear what it's like. And then if you want, you can when you know get it like $150. That's what they charge for it. I've been trying to talk to them about talk them down on like a discount, and then that's why I've been waiting to talk to you all about it to kind of get a final word from them on just I've been trying to work them down lower and lower and lower. But I mean, I know it's worked for them because it's a lot of time for them. Like if we had 10 people, like readings that I get are never less than 30 minutes. So that's 5 hours. Yeah, if
Ooh.
we have 10 people doing it. So I mean, and that's 5 hours of you know like sitting here doing this, going into the mental level and like audibly conveying it. It's like a real life modern day oracle, essentially. But you can ask, like, they'll assess all those things and you can ask questions. So you can ask that question for my specific body, what exactly will I need to consume as far as foods, minerals, vitamins to alleviate this fat and have the most whole, healthy body I can. And they'll probably say, well, as we have said, because they'll probably already convey a lot of that in there. Almost every time it's like my last one, it said this one more vitamin D because I got it in the wintertime. So it's like this body needs more vitamin D. It told me to get some chlorophyll, and so to drop 3 drops of chlorophyll under my tongue to start the morning every day. And so that's what I've been doing. It told me to completely stop having caffeine and use the chlorophyll for it to replace that. So I knew it was going to be hard to like stop drinking coffee because of like my job and being productive. So I just switched to decaf coffee, and that way I just can cut out the caffeine but still trick my mind into thinking I'm drinking coffee. So my ego's like pacified and doesn't really react. And then I've used the drops in the morning. So I wake up, have the drops, and then I make my coffee. And it's been working wonderfully. I mean, now I'm to the point where I don't even need the decaf coffee anymore. I just kind of drink because I do like the flavor of coffee. The hardest part has been not putting any, like I used to put agave in my coffee. And then today was actually the first day where I went ahead and did no agave. It was actually by accident, but I really enjoyed it. And so I think I'm going to go moving forward with it. I was thinking about that this morning. Like, I think I'm just going to continue with this because it's what I wanted to do, but just it was the hardest part of it. But anyways, it gave other things like eat more mangoes and papayas. I used to never like papayas, but I've ate like 4 whole papayas since then. And this was like maybe a month and a half ago when I got the reading. So I love mangoes, so I eat mangoes a lot. Actually, it's a mango I'm gonna go eat right after we're done here for dessert. Yeah, papayas. I mean, they feels like they have no flavor. It's like a flavorless fruit. I feel like, but I've come to enjoy it now. Now I actually like it.
I bought one for the first time the other day,
Yeah,
and as soon as I cut it open, it had this horrible smell, and I was like, "What is
those
this?"
seeds. It's those seeds. That smell is those seeds. Yeah,
And
but a
then
lot of. Oh, go ahead.
when I tasted it, like that's all I could taste was the smell.
Mhm.
So that's why I was
Ooh.
like, "That's nasty."
Yeah. That
Yeah,
just sounds gross.
but I mean, I honestly now I've had like 4 or 5 of them now, and I like it. But yeah, at first, well, the first time I had it now, it wasn't as bad as the first time I ever had it. The first time I ever had it, I was like, oh my God, I'm never eating papaya again. What the fuck? Why do people eat this? Like, and every time I saw it since then, like go to a juice bar, it's like a papaya smoothie. I'm like, who's ordering that? But I feel like one thing I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like at the time my body needed it the most, and so I was the most adverse towards consuming it. I because like it was a time where I was eating a lot of sugars. Like the more sugars that I've had, I feel like the more worse smelling it was and the worse tasting it was. And as I've eliminated sugar, um, and highly eliminated carbs. I mean, I had quite a few today, but I sometimes give myself a day of indulgence. I don't like to be extreme with things anymore. I used to be very extreme with things, and then that's how I got to where I am or where I was before, where I put on like 60 pounds. because I was so extreme with my diet and what I was eating. I just, went off the rails after like 7 years. It just was like, I'll eat anything I want. I don't care. I'm not restricting myself anymore. No limitations. And I just went from one extreme to the other. And now I'm like finding a balance. So yeah, today turned into a day of indulgence for myself, but it's all right. I'm back at it tomorrow. And anytime I have those desires, I just fulfill them. So that's another thing I would suggest is like, don't be so restrictive with this. Allow yourself to be more free flowing. Don't make it a diet. Make it a change in the condition of how you approach life and what you feed your body from here on out. But at the same time, like me, like I'll still eat sugar. It used to be real. It got really bad for a while, but now it's more control. It's like if I'm desiring it, I'll assess, is this desire more like body based, or is it just like a desire because I enjoy it and I want to enjoy it now, you know? And so that's kind of the difference. Sometimes it is more like I give in, like, well, there's been like one time where I just kind of like gave in, but that was after I kind of was like, yeah, I haven't had chocolate in like a month and a half, and I love chocolate, or like well, maybe it was like 3 weeks. So I had some, but then after that, I was like, well, there's two more chocolates here. Let me go ahead and eat two more, and or like four more. But then next day I went on with it. But I try to like assess when that comes up, and like, is this like a craving or just something I'm like just desiring to do because I want to, you know. But yeah, I mean, this is something I've been, working because I don't have like a lot of fat, but I have a lot of inflammation from sugars and things. But so recently I've really learned a lot more because most of my knowledge as far as like food and nutrition was more like just alkaline based, like what's like nutrition and roots and herbs and things. And then this time around, I really dug deep in like sugar and like learning about all these other things that produce sugar and all these other things that are like what the sugar is really doing to your body and to your liver, and it's not allowing your liver to detox things, and so because of it, it's not allowing, your liver's not detoxing things, so it's just storing the toxins within the lymph system and all of this other stuff. And so because a lot of me, I don't really have a lot of fat, I just have a lot of inflammation. So like I do have a big belly, but it's like all inflammation. It's solid as a rock. I'm still have a lot of muscles and everything. There's not really much fat. It's just inflammation. Like, and so I've been working on a lot of that myself. Um, and so yeah, so it's interesting that you asked that question.
Mhm. To be honest, I forgot the question that I asked.
Just different foods to kind of like a good diet for you right now to lose some fat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. And then also like get some good fats, like avocados are really good fats to have. Like having eating fatty foods is actually really good for you. It's the sugar that produces fat, because your body then uses the sugar as fuel instead of the fat as fuel. And so that's why like intermittent fasting is really good for that, because it it forces your body to, while it's all like breakfast is called breaking a fast, because when you're fasting, your body starts using the fat and burning the fat. And so the intermittent fasting is like I'm extending that short-term fast period over time. So yeah, those readings are powerful. I get them once a year. I've done it for like 10, 11 years. Once a year I get one of those. I mean, they have tons of other readings that I get every once in a while. Like the kind I was wanting for all of you to get is a past life profile, which it it not just picks any past life, but it'll pick a specific past life that is mostly correlated to the main lesson that you're learning in life right now. And it'll give suggestions for, you listen to the past life so you can find the correlations between what you're going through now and what you went through before, and so that you can have a better opportunity to finally learn that lesson now. And then it'll also give you suggestions for learning that lesson now. It's very powerful. But they have other ones like abundance and prosperity ones, all types. all types. You can get a reading, like you and I can get a reading, like wherever we crossed paths before in the past. And that's fascinating and fun to hear about. But really, it's for like cultivating a stronger relationship and helping each other work through different lessons together, kind of things. It's really cool.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
when I asked you that question about the food, what food should I consume? I feel like I already have an answer to that now.
Mhm.
And the, when I didn't hear my body, I
Do what now?
I said I've learned how to heal my body in natural ways. Without going to the hospital, like I used to but you never will visit the hospital again. So
It's hard to hear. You said you didn't know your body was what, and then you went and said other things.
I was trying to say how I am studying the human anatomy
Oh,
and
okay,
I
yeah,
am studying to become an herbalist so I can learn
nice.
how to heal myself through natural ways.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Because I learned that um the herbs that can really help you really boost the lymphatic system, the reproductive system, the respiratory system are the
Yeah.
types of herbs that are dangerous if their systems is already working, or it's dangerous if you use it at a different type of quantity that you're supposed to use it as.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that understanding and with that knowledge, I'm trying to fully study it and fully become like a metaphysician right now. That's what I am right now. And I'm trying to study become an herbalist also, so I can I don't want a
Yeah.
certification for it. It's just what I want is the
Yeah.
type of knowledge so I know how to heal
Master,
myself and
master
other
how to
people
heal the
things.
non-physical and the physical. That's beautiful, man.
Yup,
Beautiful.
yup.
The inner and the
And
outer. Mhm.
the inner and the outer.
Yes.
That's not just a perfect with this.
Yeah.
And I found the guy about this on YouTube, and I just been watching his videos nonstop.
Yeah.
And I figured out what he was saying is true also because I created some experiences on what he was telling us what to do in
Nice.
order to just like little quick fixes,
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
little quick fixes. And so I was doing those, and now I know how to heal almost every type of injury or when your body is at disease
Nice.
or all that stuff. And I finally figured it out, and I'm just so happy I did. So happy.
Beautiful.
But I still have long ways to go. Long ways.
That's all right. You got your whole life to do it, man. You like a tenth of the way there.
I can't wait.
You're good. You're good.
This is gonna be a real good journey.
Yeah.
It's just one last thing
Yeah,
on
go
the
ahead.
metaphysical plane that I'm trying to master. And after this, I will completely be at peace with that part of myself. That's the metaphysical aspect of myself.
Mhm.
And that is me learning how to fully be present. Because for one, I want to start mastering my dreams, master my lucid dreaming, and I can move on to actual projection. Probably already told you that a lot of times, but yeah, that's still not that I'm starting to take that, but everything is getting so mixed up. I got my basketball that I'm trying to make a choice. And I want to be devoted. And
Mhm.
the last time I accessed that house breakfast, like you said, this time I went to it with a purpose. Last time I did it with a purpose, I saw my future self, and this person was divinely in line with both basketball and I don't even know what word it was, but it was a word that correlates for both metaphysical and physical combined. I
Mhm.
don't even know what word it was, but it was a
Yeah,
word for both of them.
unified.
Unified. Yep.
Centered,
Unified. There you
centered.
go.
Yeah.
Centered. Yep. This person was
The whole
centered
self.
and mhm,
Beautiful.
a whole stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Perfect.
hey, make it a fruition, man. Yeah.
That's my
Sounds
word.
like you were stepping into the future. Standing in the future. That Peter Tosh, man.
Peter Tosh. I haven't heard
Yeah.
that person before.
Oh yeah, Peter Tosh, Mystic Man. This is a song. It's actually a song I'm about to sample and make it to a song. Yeah, I'm a mystic man. But yeah,
Speaking of songs, you got any new sneak peeks on some songs you about to release?
Yeah. I mean, sneak peeks. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can play something and y'all can hear it. Let me see. Hey, hold on. I think I might have one. Hold on, because I bet it is in here. Let me see. Oh wait, you know what? Because I don't download them on here. It would be in my. Here we go. Hold on. Let's see now. Oh, okay. What's this one? Oh, I can't let you hear that one. I gotta let that one. Simba. No. These are just the beats. Okay, here we go. What's this? Oh, hold on. I know what that one is.
Okay. Hey man, I gotta tell you right now, every single time I'm about to do something that excites me, I just say, okay, come on. Just like the beginning of that song of Mastermind.
Oh yeah.
Okay, come on.
Okay, come on.
Yup.
Okay, here's one. Can y'all hear this?
Yeah,
Can you hear
barely.
this? Can you hear
Hear it
that?
only a tiny bit. Matter of fact, no, I can't hear it no more.
Okay. Well, you could hear it, but only a tiny bit. Okay, let me
Yeah, it's a
see.
very small amount.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop recording.